the way that the virus was being handled and everything like that. So I'm very thankful we are. I'm very thankful that our district community school board has allowed us to do that. I think it means a lot to the kids and the parents, and it gives them a reason to continue to, stay engaged at school, even if it is virtual, but stay engaged and do what they need to do in the classroom.
I totally agree. Talking to Tom Yashinsky, if you happen to just be joining the program now, that the sports aspect of schooling is so vital to keep the kids engaged. I've just been struggling to come up with ways in which to really work our listeners through why certain schools in La Crosse are not playing football and schools in Onalaska 5 miles away are. I mean, do you have any insight into that? How is it that the two school districts saw things so drastically different, Tom?
Well, here's the thing. I think everybody deserves to have options and have to choose what they want to participate in, what they don't want to participate in. And the La Crosse School District said that when they were in virtual, they would have no sports, and that's the same decision that many schools around the state have made. So I don't fault them for that, but our school board and school district said that we are going to take a different stance on it and still provide those co-curricular opportunities. Now we're doing other things too. We're not just doing sports. We're doing band. We have show choir. All the co-curriculars that we normally offer currently are being offered with protective measures in place. And here's what I'll say. At the other schools that aren't doing co-curriculars, I'm going to guess that their kids are still getting together and doing things, whether that's playing basketball at the Y, whether that's getting together, throwing the football around, whether it's hanging out and whatnot. But our kids are doing that, and they're getting temperature checked, and they're getting monitored every day, and we have an athletic trainer around them. So I know that we'll take some heat from some circles for still doing this, but I think that with the safety measures that we've put in place, we've given it as safe of a place for kids to gather and kind of get that fix of being around their friends as possible, where maybe they don't go out and gather outside of that. And I get that kids are still going to hang out a little bit, but if they know that sports are on the line and that they aren't responsible, that they could lose their sports season, they have a lot more responsibility and they take it a lot more serious and they take less risks. So I think it's a real positive for our kids to have this opportunity.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm so excited that you guys are playing, and I'm so excited for our listeners and viewers of WKTY's app, because we're going to show your game against West Salem tonight in full high definition. We've, of course, got the radio broadcast too, Tom. Let's talk about that game tonight versus West Salem. And I know that you've had a couple of different games going this year. You've had to kind of shuffle your schedule around. You guys did so in pretty fast fashion against Edgar. How are you going about game planning for this year's Panthers team? Have you had any time to really scout them out? Do you kind of know what they're going to do in a large part because of what they did last year? I mean, how's that working for you?
I mean, that's all we have to go off of is last year's film. They haven't played a game yet, obviously. So, we don't have any 2020 film on them. And their kids, I'm sure, have gotten a lot better from last year. And they played a lot of young kids. They played a lot of young kids last year that that are going to grow and are going to get better through, just that's what high school kids do. So, I don't know what to expect. Obviously, I would assume that they're same style of offense with Coach Yen running the show there and Coach Gorniak running the defense. So, I don't expect major changes from them, but I do expect major improvements from them because they're such good coaches over there that they just develop their kids really well. I don't know. I think it's kind of they kind of have the advantage tonight because we have no scouting report and they have 2 games of film on us in which to scout. So it's a tough spot for us to be in. Just as a game planning standpoint.
Yeah, Tom Yashinsky, head coach of the Onalaska Hilltoppers, is good enough to spend some time with us this morning. Hilltoppers, Panthers at 6:50 with pregame coverage. 7 o'clock or right about there will be the kickoff this evening. Now, you've got 2 games in. Practice, of course, has been limited to some degree for you guys as well. Looking at your team, Tom, what's the biggest area of improvement that you see right now needs to be made? Is it offensive? Is it defensive? Where are you sort of focusing a majority of your attention saying, God, we got to get better at this?
We got to hold on to the football. We've had 6 turnovers in the first 2 games, and the ones versus Toma didn't matter because of we were able to score when, on the drives we didn't turn the ball over. But against Edgar, it was a huge thing. We turned the ball over 4 times, and 2 of them were interceptions, 2 of them were fumbles, and one of them came right after a huge Edgar turnover, and we gave the ball right back to them. And another one came, as we were driving, looking to put a touchdown drive together, and we threw an interception. So, that's the biggest thing. We haven't struggled moving the ball. We outgained Edgar by about 70 yards, but in key spots we've turned it over, and that was the difference for Edgar. It was, they didn't turn the ball over nearly as many times as we did, and they just played really tough defense. So, and our defense has played really well so far, only giving up 12 points a game, and those 2 touchdowns to tell nowhere when the game was really out of reach. So, it's ball security. It's holding on to the football.
Yeah, that's probably a coach's answer, I would assume, in a lot of different football, respects, because holding on to that football, and you can see by the NFL's Dallas Cowboys, if you're -7 in turnovers, it's going to be hard to win games. I'm pulling for you guys tonight. I've got a lot of friends in West Salem too. I'm pulling for those kids. I'm just really, really glad to get a chance to see Tom, to listen to, and to sort of take part in all the stuff that high school football brings to our community. And I'm super grateful that you guys are able to be a part of this thing. I know it means a lot to, so many people here.
Yeah, it's, and it's not about wins and losses this year. Obviously, during the game, we're going to go out and compete, and we're going to do everything we can to win. But just getting kids out on the field is a success story for this year, the way that the summer went. The kids deserve this. The parents deserve to see their kids, especially the seniors, play one last season, and it's just something where from 7 to 9 on Friday nights we can have some sense of normalcy again, and then same thing during the week from 3:30 to 6 we can have some sense of normalcy, because the rest of the day is pretty crazy and nothing else is normal. So it's good to have those Friday night lights back and have something that's normal for the kids and the parents and the community to experience.
Amen, brother. Couldn't have said it better myself. So good to talk to you, Tom. I appreciate you flexing me into your schedule here this morning, and thanks to Craig Cole for hooking me up with your contact info, because I was like, hey, wait, where's Tom's number? Thank you, Craig. Have a great day. Best of luck tonight. Really looking forward to the game here on WKTY.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dave.
Yeah, appreciate it. Tom Yashinsky, Onalaska Hilltoppers head coach. And this is going to be an awesome game tonight. West Salem, Onalaska, 6:50 pregame coverage. Drew Kelly, Hunter Baumgardt going to be on the call. 7 o'clock right there about. We'll have kickoff.
Your website is your online real estate.
When was the last time you saw where you sit when people Google you?
What do you know about your site?
Are you on the first page? Are you at the top of the page?
And how much space are you taking up on the internet right now?
Not knowing is worse, because then you can't fix it. Go to
MidwestFamilyLacrosse.com.
MidwestFamilyLacrosse.com. Select your free digital evaluation.
Get your free digital marketing evaluation.
MidwestFamilyLacrosse.com.
Dave Carney with head coach Tom Yashinsky earlier this morning on the WKTY Morning Show as the Onalaska Hilltoppers get set to take on the West Salem Panthers in the high school football game of the week right here on WKTY. Drew Kelly, Hunter Baumgardt live for you here tonight. The Hilltoppers were able to win the coin toss, and they will receive the football to begin this game. And obviously we saw the Hilltoppers struggle in the red zone and in the plus 30-yard line against Edgar all night last week, and we'll see if they can do a better job of it against a team in West Salem that hasn't had a whole lot of experience on the football field this season.
Yeah, we talked about it, a little bit before the interview there with Coach Yashinsky, but West Salem, just getting back on the field, padded practices yesterday, and they've had virtual practices of about 90 minutes until they were allowed back on their practice field, and, they were able to do some fine-tuning formations in pads, running plays, etc. But, those virtual practices were conducted out of, 3 classrooms, and they shared via Zoom as well, and players and coaches met as a team as well, and they broke into position groups, so they were able to do some things, as a football team, and we kind of get that football feel back. But this is going to be completely different. This is a game under the lights, West Salem, Onalaska. This should be a fun one. Glad you're with us wherever you are, and of course you can watch on all of our platforms as well, as we've got the streaming going.
Just about set to kick this one off for the West Salem Panthers and the Onalaska Hilltoppers. Week number 3 in the high school football season, our second broadcast of the year. Drew Kelly and Hunter Baumgardt, thrilled to be with you once again here tonight. It's going to be the Onalaska Hilltoppers receiving the kick. Dane Woods standing back at his own 10-yard line we have seen last week, Hunter, that he's got some speed. We'll see what kind of field position he can put the Hilltoppers in here tonight as they run up at the kick by Brett McConkey is going to be taken by Woods, and now it's going to be a handoff to number 1. That is Landon Peterson, the speedster, on the reverse, and he's out across the 35-yard line all the way out to the 38. And so good field position to start this game for the Onalaska Hilltoppers, and it'll be their quarterback, once again, Aiden Larson, leading the team out on the field.
Yeah, doing that reverse there to Landon Peterson on that return. Landon Peterson committed to Idaho to run track and field in D1. He is their speedster, and of course, he'll be lined up here on the outside to start on first down.
So he is out on the right side. Hudson Weber, who had a big game on the last game, is lined up to the left side. Peterson to the right. And one receiver out to the slot. That is Nicky Odom. Here's the handoff to Michael Saverin. He's going to take the right edge and is tackled around the neck. Hog-tied there after a gain of about 5, and it's going to be out to the 44-yard line. Wrapping him up on the play was Schmidt, and he did a nice job of getting off his block and making the tackle.
You may or may not see, on this first drive, I think you may more than you may not see just some rust here by West Salem. This is their first time, hitting another team, and so you might see some rust here on this first drive. 2nd
down and 5. There's flags all over the place as Landon Peterson went in motion from right to left across the formation, and it's going to be a false start penalty on the Hilltoppers. Not sure if he was the one that moved a little bit early or the offensive lineman, but either way, it does move it back to about the 2nd and 11 spot. So a little bit behind the line of scrimmage. We'll call it 2nd and 7 at the 44, at the 39 rather. 11:17 to go here, first quarter. And here is the handoff to Saverin. He squeezes through a little hole and then is dumped immediately. Good job penetration-wise by the defense of West Salem. Getting down there to make the tackle going downhill was the linebacker that time. That was Grosky. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 11. He lost a yard.
If West Salem can force a 3 and out here, I think they'd be very happy for a first possession to get out of here without any damage at all. First defensive possession of the year.
2 receivers out to the right side, 1 to the left. Nicky Odom goes in motion closer to the line of scrimmage. It's Larson over the middle of the field, and it's going to be behind his intended receiver, Nicky Odom, and he is met immediately at about the line of scrimmage, so no gain, and it's going to be 4th down and 11. Great opening defensive possession that time, as it was the other linebacker, McConkey, who got the stop, and it's going to be 4th down and 11, so no tackling for West Salem in practice. They're just saving all their energy for the game. 3 and out for their opening defensive possession.
The penalty helped, of course, the false start, but man, that was an impressive defensive stand there by West Salem, and they've got their crowd section. Of course, it's only families of Onalaska in this crowd section, but they've got a hill over there, and they've got some crowd as well, so they were excited for that 3 and out.
Ben Foss will kick this one away. It's a spiraling punt, and it's going to be taken on a fair catch at the 31-yard line. Jack Helly will call for the fair catch. And Helly gets it to the 31-yard line. 1st down and 10 for West Salem, as the Panthers will try their hand on offense for the first time here this season, and they'll be let out by their quarterback, number 25, Noah LaFleur. Going to be a little bit of a different offense. Obviously, we saw in practice he does have an arm on him, but with Coach Jen, you got to know that the run is going to be a heavy factor in this game tonight.
Absolutely, and Coach Yen talking a lot about this week, the second chance here at a season, and didn't know if they were going to have a season a couple weeks back, and it's great to be on the field.
1st down and 10. Dumars lined up to LaFleur's right side. Shotgun formation. 3 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the right. Here's the handoff to Dumars, and Dumars plows ahead for a gain of about 3 on the play out to the 35-yard line. Maybe a gain of 4. It's going to be 2nd down and 6, just a straight up the gut handoff on the first play from the scrimmage.
Yeah, and just kind of get everybody acclimated to the game, I think. Just do a nice run up the middle, get the offensive line blocking, get the handoff down from the quarterback to the running back. Got to start start
somewhere.
One. Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
And build your way up and maybe see a pass play here, later in this drive.
Dumars once again lined up to the right side of LaFleur. 3 receivers bunched to the left side and 1 receiver split out wide left. And here is the handoff. It's a draw play to Dumars, and he's going to pick up another 2 or 3. This time they ran the draw play to the left side, and bringing him down for the tackle was the middle linebacker, River Zumach. It's going to be third down and about 4.
Well, we'll see here if West Salem here on a third and short can convert. Onalaska, of course, on a 3rd and 11 was not able to, and so do they go with a pass play? They've worked a couple of runs here that have worked well. Maybe a play action.
Once again, Dumars to the right of LaFleur. 2 receivers out to each side. And now Dumars goes in motion. It's going to be a swing pass to him in the backfield, and now they say it's incomplete. The pass was a little bit behind Dumars in the backfield on that swing pattern. And so a couple of nice plays by the West Salem offense, but they will go 3 and out as well. And Onalaska will have their second possession after the punt.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like LaFleur might have hesitated a little there, not totally confident in his throw, just kind of almost like a pump fake then throw, and I don't think that was in the plan of the play. So incomplete pass, lucky it wasn't fumbled backwards, and see how far they can punt it to Onalaska.
4th down and 4. Pretty good snap. Here's the kick. It's going to be a spiraling kick. Nick Odom is going to take it at the 27-yard line. Then he wasn't quite able to get all the way underneath it and fumbled it off the front of his fingertips, so he had to dive on it. And it'll be the Onalaska Hilltopper football with the 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. So we'll see if Coach Yashinsky made any adjustments on that last offensive possession.
Yeah, this game's starting a lot like we saw last game.
For sure.
Last week with Edgar and Onalaska, where a lot of running the football, a lot of defense. Only, of course, 12-7 was the final of that one here at Onalaska High School. So seeing a lot of the same themes in week 2 of our broadcast schedule, but week 3 of the season.
Aiden Larson in the pistol formation. As Savarin is right behind him, he's going to get the handoff and break through a couple of tackles across the 30 to the 32-yard line, pick up a 4. And getting in there for the stop was number 42 that time. 41, rather, McConkey. And it's going to be 2nd down at about 7. So just a pretty simple runner up the middle, trying to get a better position on 2nd down than they did the last set of drive. And here is the read option. It's going to be taken. Actually, it's a handoff to Savarin, and nobody is fooled except for yours truly, Drew Kelly, up at the press box. As once again, getting in there for the stop was McConkey. He was all over that play as they went up to Savarin up the middle. No gain, and it's 3rd down and 7.
I was fooled on that one as well. You almost saw, if you're watching on the WKTY app, WKTYsports.com, wherever you are watching, if you were watching, you saw that I was almost fooled by that one. But West Salem kept their distance. We got a 3rd and long. 3rd
down and 7 upcoming. 2 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the right. Michael Savarin will line up to the right of Aiden Larson in the backfield. Sam Pika, the H-back. Now a fumble by Savarin. He picks it up off the hop, and it's going to be dumped for a loss of 2 yards. You saw Michael Savarin have some issues in the last game as well as far as fumbling the football. That time he was able to get it back, but another 4th down forced by the West Salem defense.
Yeah, both defenses coming out and both offenses looking shaky early here. Onalaska being able to get nothing going except for like 1 4 or 5 yard run. Otherwise, they're getting nothing going. A good showing so far by the West Salem defensive front.
It's going to be Sam Pika kicking this one away. Jack Healy will receive the kick, and it's going to be a spiraling punt, and Healy's going to get away from it. Now he has to pick it up as it goes right to him, and he breaks a couple of tackles, and now he is crushed at the 42-yard line. A big-time hit that time by River Zumock. Also in there, big number 99 for the Onalaska Hilltoppers. That was Ben Tracy laying the wood, and it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Panthers at their own 42-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like he popped right up. So
yep,
popped right up and was okay. But that was the hardest hit I've seen this season. And of course, West Salem's first game. You're not used to that as a football player yet. So that was probably woke him up a little bit. But here we go. West Salem with an opportunity now to do better than their first offensive drive.
Trips receivers out to the left side. Dumars lined up to the left this time with LaFleur. 1 receiver out to the right side now. Here is the read option. Actually, that's going to be a read option. This time Drew Kelly got it right, and it's going to be a run from LaFleur for about 5 yards, and it's going to be 2nd down and 5. Good job faking the handoff that time. Really, nobody went with him.
Yeah, a lot of Onalaska defenders swapped to the running back, but no, sir. LaFleur took it out to the left, got a nice gain on 1st down, and both these teams have been able to do a couple of good things on 1st down, but it comes to 2nd and 3rd down, and these defenses have been stout, so we'll see if that changes.
Dumars, the running back, got a few carries on that first possession. Then they went with a read option trying to fool him. Did a pretty good job of it. 2nd down and medium. trips receivers out to the right side, one receiver split to the left, and here is LaFleur straight back in the pocket trying to set up the screen. Pump fakes a few times. Now he's going to fire over the middle, and it's incomplete. Pass was on the money that time, intended for number 83, Jack Healy. And Michael Savrin was in good coverage there on the back end. It's 3rd down and 5.
That was actually a pretty decent throw, rolling to his right, nearly out of bounds. Guys in his face by LaFleur, and just couldn't come up with it. Good defense as well by Savrin, but Healy just couldn't quite come up with the football. It'll be 3rd down, but a nice roll out there by LaFleur, and showing that he can throw on the run.
So 3rd down and 5 at the 47-yard line. 5:40 to go here in the first quarter. No score from Onalaska High School. Hilltoppers 1-1. Panthers with their first game of the season, and now here is Dumars trying to push his way up the middle, trying to get a first down, and it's very close, Hunter. We'll see where they spot it. It might be just inches short, but now the way they look at it there, it looks like it might be a first down.
It might just be. What are they going to call here?
Either way, it's going to be inches.
It is going to be inches, and they're going to say first down. Yeah, that second effort there was absolutely huge, and the offensive line just kind of pushing their guy past the first down line, and the first conversion we've had, first down of the game.
So a new set of downs with 5:02 and counting here in this first quarter. Coach Yen's got to be happy about that. 2 receivers out to the right side, 2 to the left. Shotgun formation, Dumars to the right of LaFleur. And here is LaFleur as they are inside Onalaska territory, going deep down the left sideline. It's Jack Healy. He's got his man open. It is Healy inside the 20, all the way down to the 15-yard line. What a perfect throw by LaFleur as he stepped up into the pocket right over the outstretched arms of Healy, and it's a big gain.
Absolutely outstanding throw. Just dropped it right in the bucket for Healy, and Healy all the way inside the red zone. And a big play, first big play of the night for either team goes to West Salem, and they set themselves up with a nice 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
4:41 to go. We saw Edgar and Onalaska be in a lot of these situations in the red zone. Not many opportunities so far. First one for the Panthers, and now a snap goes over the head of LaFleur. He wisely dives back on top of it. And that's what we saw a lot of in the last game, Hunter. But first game of the season, that's kind of where you see the jitters and a little bit of the miscues by the Panthers offense.
Yeah, that's just, one of the things that's going to happen, if you're a team that's got your first game. I'm sure Onalaska did that a time or two in their first game against Toma, and so it's unfortunate because you go all the way down to the 14 and then you lose 14 yards on simply an oversnap, but they got to gain it back and see if LaFleur maybe can make a play with his arm again. 2nd down and 24.
Dumars lined up to the left of LaFleur in the shotgun. 2 receivers right, 2 left. And it's going to be a play-action fake. It's going to be a screen set up to Healy. Healy breaks a couple of tackles, and now still fighting his way back across the original 3rd down marker, or original line of scrimmage, rather, for that possession. And it's going to be inside the 15, down to about the 13. So they gain about 15 back, and it's going to be 3rd down and 8.
That was an impressive run after the catch. Healy catching it just a yard from the line of scrimmage there, and taking it 15 yards after the catch, breaking tackles and being able to spin a couple of times, and now 3rd and a little more manageable than what they would have.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 8 at the 12-yard line here. And you're in either field goal territory or 4-down territory. We'll see what Coach Yen decides to do. They want a touchdown, though. 2 receivers out to the right side and 2 to the left. It's a quarterback draw. LaFleur keeps it himself, and it's going to be inside the 5-yard line, down to the 4, and he's close to another first down, and Hunter, I think he got another one.
I think he did as well, and I think it's going to be 1st and goal, and the, do we?
It'll be close.
Okay, I think they're moving.
4th down and inches, it looks like. They put up the fist.
They did.
So it will be 4th and inches, so we'll see if they go to the big fella Dumars, or if Healy goes for a quarterback sneak. Big gain, big play early in this game here for the Panthers and for the Hilltopper defense, trying to keep them out of the end zone. 1 receiver out to each side. Couple of big linemen out on the line as well. Here's the handoff to Dumars. He plows ahead. Easy first down for the Panthers, and it's going to be 1st down and goal.
Yeah, just give it to your running back. Move the feet. Only needed an inch or 2. and was able to dive across that line and get a couple of yards after as well. So now you have 4 downs to score from the 2. I think Coach Yen is enjoying this drive for sure on that sideline.
So very, very effective here on this second drive. Outside of the over snap of the quarterback's head, which makes it even more impressive, they got all the way back to this point. First down and goal at the 2. One receiver out to each side. Handoff is to Dumars again, and he's in for the touchdown. Dumars plunges ahead and is able to get in. A great time run there by Dumars, and it's 6-0 with 2:31 remaining here in the first quarter. West Salem strikes first.
Really like that drive overall, just the mix of the run and pass. LaFleur with a couple of, one really big play to Healy with his arm, and then Dumars doing what he does best, just run right up the middle and break a couple of tackles, get 5-6 yards, and diving in for the score. And West Salem with an early lead.
6-0, extra point on the way. Here's the snap. It's over the head of the holder's head this time, and now the kicker is just going to fall on it, much like LaFleur had to previously. The kicker for tonight's going to be Joseph Daly. It might have to work on a little bit of snapping, but outside of that, the drive went perfectly. It's 6-0, 2:29 to go first quarter. We're back in 60 seconds. This is the high school football game of the week on WKTY.
Midwest Family.
Instead of just creating ads, we create strategies.
We don't simply want to put your business on the radio.
My job consists of being a consultant.
Every plan that we build is customized specifically for you. And that's across all platforms, including social and digital media, website design, and running radio ads.
It's taking all those different pieces and then putting them together into a comprehensive plan.
We want to discuss how we can help your business grow. We want to discuss your business.
There's nothing more important to us than our advertisers' success. And that's why it is so awesome to have these great success stories. Just call one of our current clients and ask.
Systematic solution for measurable marketing results. Midwest Family. Midwest Family.
Back here at Onalaska, and here is the return by Odom, as it was a short kick and taken by him at about the 27-yard line, and he gets out to the 34. And it'll be first down and 10 for the Hilltoppers for their third possession of the game.
Yeah, this is going to be, Onalaska's not shown a lot of good offensive stuff so far tonight. Passing, running, not doing great, but we'll see here. They've got an opportunity to kind of put that all to shame if they can get some yards here.
So it's going to be first down and 10. So it's going to be Aiden Larson, 2 receivers out to the right side, 1 to the left. Here's the handoff to, that's going to be Romero. Romero somehow breaks through the backfield with 3 guys in his face and rumbles across the 40 down to the 41-yard line. Pickup of 7 there on the run. Good job by Romero to break through. Second down and 3.
Romero with 10 carries for 42 yards last game, and he's their, he's kind of their, he kind of reminds me like a A.J. Dillon, if you will, in the Green Bay Packers. Just kind of your bigger running back and able to kind of just run through people. Derrick Henry-like, if you will, and that was a nice run.
2 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the right. Pistol formation. Aiden Larson will hand it off to Romero again. This time, very good job with a tackle. Lifted him up into the air and slammed him on the back. Number 20, a big-time tackle. Noel with a stop. It's going to be a loss of 2. And third down and 5 coming up.
Third down and 5.
It's not very easy to pick up Romero, much less slam him without going backwards yourself, but Luke Knoll did a great job that time, just wrapping up and hanging on for dear life till reinforcements got there.
Yeah, this is interesting. Coach Yashinsky yelling for a player, and the player wasn't coming out too quickly. I don't think he's too excited about how his team's played so far in a 3rd and long situation. Well, 3rd and 5, and it might see a pass here from Larson.
Ball on the 39-yard line of Onalaska. 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. Clock is running. And the jet sweep to Landon Peterson. He has to cut back upfield. And now still jitterbugging his way close to a first down. I think he might be a half-yard short, but he did a great job just to get that, as the West Salem defense was all over him.
Some great shifty moves by Peterson, and they might, they're going to say first down. First down for Onalaska.
They do not want to have the chain gang come out on the field. COVID, I'm not sure what the case is, but there's a lot of close cases in these first few drives, and the refs are demonstrably just saying, all right, yeah, it's first down or it's short. No, whatever.
It's 2020.
Whatever we say goes.
Yeah.
Two receivers out to the right side and one tight end lined up to the right. Got to laud the referees, obviously, for coming out here and doing this as well. Here's the handoff to Romero, stuffed in the backfield. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, but I think he lost a half yard. Getting in there for the stop that time. It was Luke Knoll again. Second down and 10. And 5 seconds left in the quarter. I think that's going to be it. So what a dominating performance by the West Salem Panthers in that opening quarter. And Onalaska is going to have to get some adjustments going as we enter period 2. 6-0, West Salem. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the second quarter. This is the high school football game of the week on WKTY.
Hey, lacrosse, don't miss the Bill Michaels Show every day from 11 to 2 right here on WKTY. Join me to discuss our favorite sports teams like the Brewers, Packers, Badgers, Bucks, and a lot more. I'm going to give you my opinion, speak with expert guests, and I'm going to chat with you as well. Just give me a call. The Bill Michaels Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on Western Wisconsin sports talk leader, WKTY.
So you're a big fan of WKTY, huh? Well, that means you're one of the smartest people in the entire region. So smart, you're going to download the absolutely free WKTY app to your smartphone or your tablet today. You can sign up to win stuff from WKTY. You can listen to the Overtime Podcast with Dave Carney, the Wisco Sports Show Podcast with Grant Bills, even the Outdoor Show with Kevin Millard on the WKTY app. Get your latest news and information, all your favorite sports teams absolutely free on the WKTY app.
Back here at the Onalaska High School, Drew Kelly, Bunter Baumgardt, live with you here tonight. Two receivers, one split to each side as we start the second quarter. Hilltoppers with a 2nd and 10 on their own 44-yard line. They trail 6-0 against West Salem, who has their first game of the season here tonight. Play action fake, blitz from behind, and a sack. Blindside linebacker coming in there for the sack. Number 11, Zach Niemeyer, blasted Aiden Larson from behind, and Larson never had a chance, Hunter.
Absolutely not. Never even saw him. And the 6-foot junior just getting in there right away, untouched. And now Onalaska in a 3rd and 23 scenario.
So here's the 3rd and 23, and here's the screen set up, and it's going to be to number 10, Dane Woods, and Woods is going to get out to about the 50-yard line, make it the 49 of West Salem. So a really effective 3rd down and 23. Just get a big chunk, get what you can, see where you're at for 4th down, and it looks like Onalaska has no chance of punting right now. They are going for this on the moment.
There's a very impressive screen set up there, and nice job by Dane Woods. There's a lot of open field in front of him. He looks a little injured, though, as he comes off and takes a knee on the sideline, maybe hurt a shoulder or something.
We'll see. Obviously, Michael Skemp hurt as well. 4th down and 4 last game, so they're already down one receiver. Here is Larson. He's going to go over the middle, complete to Hudson Weber across the 45 down to the 42. He gets up a little slow, but he was slammed by Jack Healy on a tackle. But a nice catch over the middle there to hang on by Hudson Weber.
Yeah, he looks a little hobbly. I think he hit his head very hard on that tackle, kind of did a whip back, hit the back of his head on the turf. And so now that's another wide receiver in 2 plays that have to take a seat on the sideline for at least this play, and we'll see what happens as we go forward.
So 1st down and 10. And here is the handoff to Romero. He just plows his way ahead, knocks over a couple of Panthers on his way for a 5-yard gain inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line.
As long as Romero can keep his legs moving, he's going to get 4 or 5 yards every single play. He's impressive when he has the line in front of him, and he just keeps those legs moving. And even after the point of contact, he can get a couple of more yards.
One receiver out to the right side, one to the left. Pistol formation to the backfield. Aiden Larson with Romero right behind him. He will hand it off to Romero again. Nice job to sidestep a defender at the line of scrimmage, and he has to get back to where he can, but a good job wrapping him up from down below there, number 41. And that was C.J. McConkey, the big linebacker, who's been involved on defense quite a bit here in this opening quarter and a half.
Now we're seeing a lot of Romero right now on the Onalaska side, and Savrin not getting as many carries, and I think that could be a ball security. Obviously, has been an issue a little bit with Savrin, and so Romero been able to gain more yards.
And here is the handoff again. Good patience by Romero, but he slips on the field, and he thought he had a lane, tried to cut it back up inside, but slipped. Lost about 1.5 yards on the play. It's going to be 4th down and about 6.5 or 7.
Yeah, once again, no sign of punting here. They are looking to go for it, and Onalaska with Salem, I beg your pardon, with a chance to get that defense off the field.
And now we've got a timeout, and West Salem will talk about it. And we will take a 30-second break and hear from our sponsors. We're back in 30 seconds. Pivotal 4th down for the Onalaska Hilltoppers early. This is the high school football game of the week on WKTY.
Local and national sports, news and updates, information you can't get anywhere else, plus a full line of WKTY podcasts. It's all at WKTYSports.com. Sign up for the WKTY Sports Blast, courtesy of Blue Honey Biofuels, an absolutely free sports information email once a day on our website, WKTYSports.com. Check out old high school games in high definition, WKTYSports.com. The best local and national sports site you can find.
Onalaska Lions. Each and every one are valued sponsor of our Onalaska.
Back here at Onalaska High School, pivotal 4th down and 6 for the Hilltoppers as they trail 6-0 against the West Salem Panthers. 8:52 to go in the first half. There's 2 receivers lined up to the right side, pistol formation. Sam Pika, the H-back, also in the backfield. It's going to be a play-action fake. Not much of a fake, but here's a pass over the middle. Incomplete. They were going for the big tight end that time. And that was number 99, Ben Tracy, going over the middle. A little bit over his outstretched arms. He can't really get up a whole lot with a defender right on him also. And it's going to be 1st down and 10 as the West Salem Panthers turn over the Hilltoppers on downs.
Yeah, so far Onalaska looking a little shaky on the offensive side, and West Salem doing a very good job of taking advantage of any opportunity they can get. And they've had 1 penalty, but they are able to overcome it. We'll see if they've also had a couple of snaps that have went over the head of either the kicker the holder for the kicker or the quarterback. So we'll see if that becomes an issue. But so far, West Salem's been impressive in their first game of the year.
1st down and 10. Here is the handoff, this time to Dumars, and Dumars is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. That time, the defensive line of Onalaska crashing in there early, and Ben Tracy, who just went out on that passing route, gets into the backfield for the stop at 2nd down and 10.
Once again, the run defense doing all right for Onalaska. They let up 1 big pass play. See if LaFleur goes to the air here at all these next couple of plays.
8:15 and counting here in the second quarter, 6-0. West Salem on top of the Hilltoppers. Here's LaFleur, straight back in the pocket, looks to the right side, incomplete. Looking for the intended receiver. That was number 11. That was Zach Niemeyer, who also had that big sack on the last drive defensively for the Panthers, and a little bit outside of the target. It's 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, and I think you'd see a pass here, probably by LaFleur. He's been accurate for most of his throws so far. And he's, this is, again, early in the West Salem year. We've said it again, time and time again, but this is the first game for West Salem. Onalaska coming off a loss to Edgar. It's their 3rd game. So the speed is different, but West Salem so far able to overcome that, and we'll see if LaFleur makes a throw here or hands it off.
2 receivers out to each side, shotgun formation. Dumars goes in motion in the backfield. It's a quarterback draw, and Ben Tracy's not having any of it. Grabs LaFleur as he gets past him and throws him back. And it's going to be maybe a gain of 1. It's 4th down and 9. And that's going to have to bring out the punting unit for West Salem. Good job by Onalaska to bounce back.
Absolutely. Getting into that backfield, not being faked by the fake handoff there at all, and just getting right to LaFleur, and now a punting situation. Onalaska a chance to in the middle of the second quarter, get a tie or maybe even take the lead here.
So here is the snap, and it's a punt that's spiraling a little bit away from the return man and hits the cameraman on the other side of the field. So I think everybody realized the cameraman for the local TV station is still in a little bit of harm's way despite all the social distancing. The football doesn't really care about him or that. And it's going to be first down and 10 for Onalaska at their own 42-yard line.
Yeah, the mask didn't really help with that one, unfortunately.
Hunter is a little safer than the cameraman on the sideline.
I am, unless we have, like last week, we had the stand started to shake because everybody was slamming their feet on the ground.
That's true, yeah.
Earthquake-like conditions sometimes in these stands. Look out.
Pistol formation, one back in the backfield. That's Saverin, one receiver right and left. Here's the handoff to Saverin. Saverin takes it left edge and is barely ankle tackled. Otherwise, he had some space along the far sideline. And it looks like that was number 25 for the West Salem Panthers, Noah LaFleur, getting in there for the stop. That's a big-time run by Saverin, who has had some issues, obviously, with fumbling, but you got to give his confidence back, and he shows what he can do athletically there.
Yeah, that was right, exactly what you said, getting the confidence back, and they're keeping him in there again. See if he gets the ball. Second play in a row.
Second down and 2 upcoming. One receiver out to each side. A little bit of a wayward snap, but it's going to be a handoff to Saverin. He bursts through the hole again. Another big hole in the middle of that line for the Hilltoppers as they get inside the 45 down to the West Salem 41-yard line. And all of a sudden, the Hilltoppers are on the move.
You know, Romero's their rough and tumble back. Saverin's kind of their speedster and can make real quick moves. And as long as he holds on to that football, he's a dangerous guy, and especially in space, he can really make things happen. So Onalaska, I'm sure, is happy to have him on the field and holding onto the ball.
Landon Peterson lined up to the right side. And here is the play fake. They're going deep to him. He has his man beat by about 4 steps. Gets all the way inside the 5 down to the 4, and it's going to be first and goal, Hilltoppers. He beat his cornerback who was on him that time. That was Niemeyer. He finally raced him down at the 4-yard line, which is not an easy thing to do if you're behind Landon Peterson in a race. But he was able to do it, but it is first and goal at the 4.
Yeah, Onalaska setting that play up the entire time. 2 runs to Saverin, and then they do the play action and the corner bit, and then Landon Peterson was by him, and it's, like you said, it's tough to catch up to him, so that was impressive. But, yeah, definitely set up that play by a couple of runs and then doing the big pass.
Saverin back in the backfield, pistol formation, a couple of tight ends on the other side of the line, or either side of the line. This time it's Saverin trying to bounce it out outside, and nothing doing. 2-yard loss on the play. Good sportsmanship there as they help him up, but big number 9 for West Salem getting in there for the stop. Adam Gorski on the tackle, and it's going to be second down and goal at the 7.
Saverin running over to the sideline as well. I think he got some maybe grass in his helmet and stuff like that. Well, he immediately takes his helmet off, but Romero back in there, and of course he can get you some rough and tough yards as well. He keeps his legs moving. He can get 4 or 5.
Second down and goal at the 5. As Hunter mentioned, Romero back into the ball game as the Thunder portion of the Thunder and Lightning duo in the backfield, as the pass to Weber is a little bit wayward out to the left side. And it's going to be third down and goal. An out pattern could have been converted there. It was a pretty good route by Weber, just a little bit off target on the throw.
Yeah, he had him there in the end zone. Would have been a touchdown, but just a little bit of the outside throw. And now you got a third down in here for West Salem. I think Onalaska's going to go for a touchdown in 2 plays here.
Yep.
That's kind of, I would think, Coach Yashinsky's mentality here.
One receiver out to each side. Peterson lined up to the right. Weber to the left. Pistol formation with Romero behind Larson. Handoff is to Romero. Romero plows inside, dives for the pylon. I think he's a yard shy. He was hit at about the 5 and somehow still got about 4 yards on the play. Spun his way through the tackle, and it's going to be fourth and goal, and they're going to go quick here, trying to catch the defense off guard. And that's going to force Coach Yen to get a quick timeout here. And the second of the half here for the West Salem Panthers. We'll keep it here. Hunter, obviously a really good bounce-back drive here for the Hilltoppers offensively. And also defensively, they got a good stop on their previous possession, kind of the momentum back in their favor a little bit.
Yeah, one big play can really shift momentum. We saw the big play from LaFleur to Healy on that West Salem touchdown drive. Now we see a big one from Larson to Landon Peterson, and now all of a sudden they got 4th and goal at the 1. I'd be shocked here if they don't go to Romero, although Romero now just checked out. It looks like he's going over to the sideline. I feel like they give him. I don't think he's got less than like 2 or 3 yards every time he's gotten the ball. So I'm shocked here that they don't have him on the field right now. But maybe they're trying something else up.
Yeah, obviously trying to outsmart the West Salem coaching staff and everybody in the stadium. I think thinks it should go to Romero, kind of like the Seattle Seahawks and the Patriots Super Bowl. Everybody wanted the ball to go to Marshawn Lynch, and then they thought they tried to get cute, and we know how that turned out. Onalaska tried to do a little bit more success on this play.
The stage is set, 4th and goal.
And we've got 4th down and goal at the 1-yard line. Dane Woods lined up behind Larson. Receivers to either side, and big linemen. And Ben Tracy, the tight end, lined up on the line. And here's the read option. They're going to go to Dane Woods, and he loses control of the football, and it's going to be recovered by West Salem, and they stop him on 4th down.
And the Hilltoppers
So the Hilltoppers get all the way down to the 1-yard line, take Albert Romero off the field, try to go with the trickeration option play, and it did not work out. Dane Woods unable to come up with a pitch, and the West Salem Panthers regain possession.
We just said, like you said, sometimes the simplest of plays is what you just need to do. They tried to get up to the line. West Salem called a timeout. I feel like if they would have been able to get up to the line, they probably would have went with Romero. He was in the game. Instead, they try to get a little cute, like you said, and it doesn't work. And in a short yard scenario, folks, they were at the 1-yard line. I mean, all they needed, it was like less than 1. So really, Larson could have just jumped up in the air and maybe reached it over. Instead, they go with an option, and it doesn't work. And now West Salem, talking about a momentum shift. If they can get a couple of first downs here, eat up the clock, they're going to be good heading into halftime.
And now another timeout by West Salem, so they burn their 3rd and final timeout. So obviously trying to get out of the shadow of their own end zone here on this Friday night. We're going to take a 60-second break. We're back after this for the next West Salem possession. This is the high school football game of the week right here on WKTY.
If it's happening in Wisconsin sports, you'll hear about it on the Wisco Sports Show.
I want to talk about Jed Jerko, and I want to talk about Devin Williams. But before we do, a small side note, and this could not be less important. This is the dumbest small side note ever. But why does Brett Anderson look like a walking mugshot in every picture I see of him? His face is all droopy. He doesn't even look happy to be pitching. He looks like a walking mugshot. He looks terrible in every picture I've ever seen. Right? You got Corbin Burns, who's got the flow going, the clean-cut beard. Woodruff, the beard's getting a little bushy, but still clean-cut. Adrian Hauser, slim, attractive guy. And then there's Brett Anderson, who looks like he hangs out at, I don't know, your local neighborhood pub, the Adams Street Pub. You can go around the corner. Brett Anderson hanging right there. He's drinking a PB.
Beyond his end, but Healy was open. That was actually not a bad play call there at their own 3-yard line. Take a shot quick off a turnover.
Yeah, LaFleur has been he dropped one to Healy earlier at about that distance, so went for it again. Didn't work this time. 2nd down.
2nd down and 10. One receiver split to each side. They're going to hand it off to Dumars. Dumars plows ahead up the middle between left tackle and left guard. Gets what he could, maybe a couple or 1.5. It's going to be 3rd and long. So just trying to really get what you can, not try to do anything too drastic, I think. And if you have to punt in the own end zone, I think that's going to be, it is what it is, but you're just trying not to turn it over.
Exactly. I think that's kind of the mentality here, and see if they can maybe get a first down. And if they do, it's close to the 15-yard line where the first down marker is. So if they were to get a first down, I think they'd be kind of out of their own end zone and then could go into their, more familiar offense.
Yep.
But right now it's a 3rd down from their own 4.
Heels on the goal line is LaFleur, and now a penalty flag, and I believe they're going to get a delay of game, and they are. The back judge throws the flag into the air, and that'll push him back a couple of yards, and that'll be back to 3rd and about 11 or so. So we'll see what the play call is here. Doesn't change a whole lot as far as the play call. You still got to try to get a first down and 2 yards is not going to really change a whole lot on it, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, since it's half the distance to the goal, only lose a couple of yards there instead of doing the whole 5 yards that a delay game in the middle of the field would have cost you.
So 3rd down at 11 after the delay of game. 2 receivers out to the right side and 2 left. Here's LaFleur, straight back in the pocket, rolls out to the right now. Also out there, returning, but the speedster, Nicky Odom, puts the Hilltoppers in great field position, almost back in the West Salem red zone. So we'll see what kind of plays that Coach Yashinsky draws up here as they try to get on the board for the first time tonight. It's 3:45 to go, and they're down an 8. Niemeyer lined up on Peterson on the bottom of the field. Near side, Onalaska going from left to right. As we watch here in the press box, and here's the pass deep down the right sideline. They're going to Peterson, and he's got the touchdown. Landon Peterson strikes pay dirt. Beautiful throw from Aiden Larson, and the Hilltoppers have tied things up with the extra point pending.
Absolutely beautiful throw from Larson. Landon Peterson can make it up, even if the throw's a little farther than Larson wants it to be. Peterson has the speed to catch up to the football, and he created some separation and got into the end zone, and that's what Onalaska was looking for. We're tied at Onalaska High School.
So the extra points upcoming here for the Hilltoppers. And the band goes quiet.
The band is back tonight, by the way.
Yes, they are. It's a really nice thing to have them back and have a little bit more normalcy here in the game. And it's going to be number 8 for Onalaska. And that was Ben Foss. Got an offside penalty on the Panthers, and they're going to force him to do it again. It was before the snap. So he's going to have to make it again here. It's going to be half the distance to the goal.
They might
go for it here now. I wonder. They're going to take Foss off the field to the goal line. So be about the 1 yard line, I think is where it's going to be. And so Onalaska looks to get the lead here. So a mistake by West Salem gives an opportunity for the Panthers to get for the Hilltoppers rather, to get their offense back out there. Now Albert Romero's back in the game. Pistol formation at the goal line here. And here is the handoff up the middle. He plows in, and there's no question about that result. Albert Romero, the crowd will let you know what just happened as he gets the 2-point conversion. We've got an 8-6 score with 3:02 remaining here until halftime. Onalaska with the lead. We're back in 60 seconds right here on the High School Game of the Week on WKTY.
Hey, it's Dave from the WKTY Morning Show, wishing you all a very, very lovely weekend. The weather in La Crosse and surrounding areas is anticipated to be just beautiful. Coming up on Monday, I'll get you covered with all of the NFL Sunday action. We'll take a look back at Friday night's big high school football game right here on WKTY, Onalaska and West Salem. We'll check in with some college football scores, and we'll see how the Lakers and Heat series wrapped up. The Lakers were trying to win their 17th championship. Don't forget, bright and early Monday morning, the WKTY Sports Show with me, Dave Carney.
Down the right sideline, MVS has it to the end zone for the touchdown!
Hey, La Crosse, nobody talks more Packers football than me. Don't miss the Bill Michaels Show every day, 11 to 2, right here on WKTY. We're going to cover every game, hear from the coaches and the players, and get the inside scoop from the best reporters and experts. That's the Bill Michaels Show, talking Packers football all season long, right here on Western Wisconsin Sports Talk leader, WKTY.
Oh, what a play!
Back here at Onalaska High School, the kickoff through the end zone. 3:02 left to go here in the opening half, and the touchback. So here comes the West Salem Panthers for their next possession. Obviously, trying to get the momentum back from Onalaska here.
Yeah, let's see what West Salem can do here on this drive. This is going to be interesting because obviously you have 3:02. You have no timeouts because you burned all 3. But 3:02 is plenty of time, but with no timeouts in high school, it's not easy to necessarily get down the field in that amount of time. So we'll see what kind of mix of pass and run Coach Yen wants to do in that West Salem sideline.
3 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the right. Here is the read option. It's going to be the quarterback LaFleur breaking tackles into the second level of the Hilltoppers, and he's out to the 29-yard line. That's a good pickup, about 9 yards, and it's going to be second down and about 1. Nice job on the read option there. Everybody was fake. That's about the third or fourth time, Hunter, that everybody has went with Dumars, and LaFleur has a big hole up the middle.
Yeah, that was a great play on first down for West Salem, getting 9 yards.
So second down and 1, 3 receivers left, 1 right. Healy, one of the receivers, bunched up to the left side. Here's the handoff to Dumars. Dumars hits a big hole between right guard and center, and he plows ahead. Always moving forward is Dumars as he's inside the 35, out to the 36-yard line. So a nice first couple of plays for the Panthers on their new possession, as they've got 2:20 to go until halftime and counting. Trying to get the lead back before the half. 2 receivers out to the left side, 2 to the right. It'll be a shotgun formation for LaFleur. And it'll be a handoff to Dumars again. This time, nothing doing. He's stoned back by a host of Hilltoppers. It's going to be second down and 10 again.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of times tonight where Onalaska's defense has been able to, well, more than a couple times, been able to just penetrate that offensive line for West Salem and get through and make a stop. So now you've got second and long. The clock continues to roll here, and West Salem not in any big hurry. So we'll see. Onalaska not taking any timeouts either.
West Salem, obviously, kind of a ball control type offense anyway, and you got to remember also they get the football back to start the second half as well. That might be weighing on Coach Yen's mind a little bit. So 2 receivers, 1 receiver going in motion. It's going to be a read option, faking the handoff on the jet sweep, and it's going to be LaFleur rumbling again, stumbling his way forward out across the 40 to the 44-yard line. Pickup of 8 on the play.
Yeah, if they're going to get down and score, they're going to need to probably pick up the pace a little here. We've got just over a minute, and they have no timeouts. So I don't know, maybe if they're trying to set themselves up for maybe a Hail Mary scenario, that could be.
We know that LaFleur has the arm. It's going to be third down and 2 at the 44. Here's the handoff to Dumars. Dumars is met at the line of scrimmage. Maybe falls ahead for 1, but it's going to be fourth down and 1 upcoming.
Ran into a brick wall.
And so we're going to get the play call here. You would assume you're kind of in 4-down territory. You only got 30 seconds left, or maybe you force Onalaska to burn a timeout if you want to and just go into the locker room, see what they want to do. Yeah, it looks like Onalaska is content with going to the locker room as well.
I think everybody seems to be. 8-6 halftime score might just be the ticket here. West Salem, like you said, gets it at halftime. We're going to have a fantastic second half, and we've got, not sure if the play clock is going to expire. I don't think so.
It doesn't look like it now, it does, with 4 seconds, make it 3.7 seconds left by the time the clock operator gets it stopped. So we'll just have a punt, and that'll be likely the end of the game, or end of the first half, rather. So it moves it back to the 40-yard line. So fourth down and 6. And obviously, I'm assuming it's going to be a punt to the sideline because we have plenty of really good athletes on that Onalaska special teams, or they could possibly break one if they get an opportunity. So, assuming you'll see LaFleur just launch one. They'd be back to the cameraman again.
For Onalaska here. There's no one back there, so.
They're just all going for the block, and it's going to be a line drive caught at the 50-yard line. And that's how it's going to go. And that's how the half is going to end. Just a line drive right into the gut of the linebacker, Connor Johansson. I don't know if he was ready for it or not, but he caught it. And that is the end of the first half. 8-6 the score.
Hold on, we got 0.9 to go here.
What do you call for a fair catch?
Well, how did that not take 3 seconds? we got 0.9 to go, so we have a play.
So it took 2.8 seconds for that entire sequence to take place. All right. So
time's getting slower in 2020.
God, isn't it? Three receivers out to the right side, 1 to the left. And here is Larson. He's going to get some pressure, tries to step up, throws it over the middle. Incomplete. Hudson Weber. Was going to be a long run for him anyway, but it is going to be an incomplete pass, and that is the end of the first half. Some really good action on both teams. We're going to have a solid second half finish. When we come back, we're going to take a 3-minute break, get you some halftime stats, and also just kind of recap that first 24 minutes. All of that on the halftime show coming up for you after this. This is the high school football game of the week on WKTY.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
For more than 30 years, the Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning Sportscasters Club has been recognizing outstanding student athletes in the Cooley region. Please join us in congratulating the 2020 Sportscaster Club scholarship recipients. From Central High School, Madison Squires. From Onalaska Luther High School, Brandon Stadler. From La Crescent High School, Isaac Peterson. From Logan High School, Trent Prue. From Holman High School, Braden Rudin. From West Salem High School, David Lados. From Aquinas High School, Clay Barra. And from Onalaska High School, Timothy Nix. Each scholarship winner is being awarded $500 towards their college education. So far, WKTY has given away $104,000 in scholarships. Thanks to all of our Sportscaster Club members for making these deserving awards possible. From Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning and WKTY.
What's happening in your community? Here are some items from our calendar to put on your calendar. Due to concerns over COVID-19, St. Peter's Parish on Highway 33 in Middle Ridge isn't having their annual sauerkraut supper this fall. Instead, the parish is having a curbside kraut and sausage drive-thru on Wednesday, October 14th. It runs from 3:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. or until sold out. The cost is $5 and includes a Polish sausage on a bun with church-made sauerkraut. There's also containers of raw kraut available for $5 each. Pre-ordering is available through the church's website at stpetersparish.net. That's SAINT petersparish.net. If you have an item for our community calendar, please send it at least 2 weeks in advance to 201 State Street, La Crosse, Wisconsin, 54601, or email events@MidwestFamilyLacrosse.com.
The WKTY Sportscasters Club, proudly supported and sponsored by Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, has given away over $100,000 to some of the top student athletes in the area. Students from schools like La Crosse Central, La Crosse Logan, Holman, Onalaska, and others. Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we thank you and all of our Sportscaster Club members for helping us help the area's youth as they continue on their academic and their athletic endeavors.
To Onalaska High School, Drew Kelly, Hunter Baumgardt, live with you at halftime here this evening. It's 8-6, the Onalaska Hilltoppers. The only difference in the game is basically one team went for an extra point, the snap went over the holder's head, and Onalaska going for a 2-point conversion after West Salem going off sides, leading them to hand it off to Albert Romero for the 2-point conversion after a beautiful pass from Landon Peterson for the tie-up score for the Hilltoppers. And I think a lot of good things to like, especially for Coach Yen. But for the Hilltoppers, you got to be proud of your kids for bouncing back and getting that late score.
Yeah, I think absolutely. After a first half that kind of continued like it did last week, not being able to get a lot going on offense, not being able to stop West Salem on one drive. It was kind of a very reminiscent half of that first one against Edgar. Of course, you scored, but it was very reminiscent of that. So to be able to get that late score and then hold West Salem not to score when they had the ball with a couple of minutes left in the first half was big. And West Salem is impressive. This is their first game of the season against a team that has played 2 weeks. It's like any football schedule, whether you're in the NFL, you got a week 3 matchup. Usually that other team has played, hasn't, whatever it is. They played
same
2 games.
Amount of weeks.
Exactly,
yep.
Same amount of weeks, and that's just not the case tonight, but it hasn't shown. West Salem has been able to compete. They had their first winless season last year since 1987, so obviously that's on their mind. They want to come out here and play, and Coach Yen talked about it this week. He said, this is our second chance, right? We didn't know if we'd have a season. We are getting a second chance and opportunity. These two were supposed to play September 25th. It didn't happen. A couple weeks later, they're able to do it. This is their second chance, and they're taking advantage of it. So if you're Coach Yen, you got to be fired up about your team's competitive nature in that first half.
It's going to be interesting to see their sort of strategy offensively. Hunter is trying to figure out. This is obviously their first game, and then you have to think about fatigue. As we get into the third and fourth quarter, kind of what is their strategy going to be? Are they going to try to go for the big plays, or are they going to try more for the ball control offense? Because we saw what Edgar was able to do to Onalaska last week with the ball control offense. That they had a lot of hands on hips with those long drives by Edgar, and it started to really take its toll in the second half when it really didn't at all in the first half. Onalaska dominated the line of scrimmage in that first half against Edgar, and things really changed when the time of possession really started to ramp up for the Wildcats. I think for the Panthers, they might try to do the same thing and, keep it out of the defense from having to go back out there and really try to chase around all those great athletes like Landon Peterson. Because, obviously with the numbers-wise, your defense players are going to be playing offense as well.
Yes.
And you want to keep them as rested and as physically sharp as they possibly can be. So I think a lot of long play clocks are in our future for the second half, especially for the West Salem Panthers, just to try to get the most rest they can for those offensive players.
Well, and that could work on the offensive side for West Salem. You look at Onalaska last week, who allowed -8 yards on the ground in the first half. They then allowed 126 in the second half. That second half completely was the thing that did them in, and allowing a lot of that, like you said, hands on the hips, being tired. And so if they can put maybe Onalaska back in that scenario, of course, they're going to have another week under their belt of conditioning and all of that. But you got to think that that's a factor, and on West Salem's side, that's going to help if they can keep Onalaska's defense on the field longer. You slow down those offensive drives and just kind of keep running the ball like they have with Dumar and a couple of other guys. They have a good shot to do that. And like you said, on the other side, West Salem's fatigue, it's probably going to show a little bit in this third quarter, especially in the fourth. And so if they can come out here, I think this first possession in the second half is going to be interesting. I think this is where you're going to need for West Salem to hold, if their coaching staff's probably like, we want to score on this first possession, because before we get too tired, come out, score, get up to 12, whether it's 12-8, 13-8, and see if our defense can come up and make some plays like they did in the first half.
And confidence and obviously success is going to mask a lot of that, tiredness and fatigue. And, really when you're getting the ball rammed down your throat, that's when the fatigue is really going to start setting in, which is what we saw last week in Onalaska. And it has nothing to do with, Coach Yen not having his guys ready to go. It's just natural. You just haven't practiced. You haven't been able to be in the pads at all. And it's a warm night. This is an August type, game, and we're on October 9th, which is really just bizarre here in Onalaska High School. We're going to take another break here, and we'll be back with more halftime coverage right after this. You're listening to the high school football game of the week right here on WKTY.
My name is Bryce Crowley. I'm a design consultant, project manager for Kitchen Solvers.
And I'm Jim from Sign Pro.
We've got both vans that we use to operate. Yeah, they're both wrapped.
Good design is something we really appreciate.
We've got big graphics on them, big colorful kitchen pictures that draw people's attention, and we have people call all the time. Yeah, we saw your van. We want you to come look at our kitchen. So,
Bryce, you bring up a really good point. You don't need a huge fleet to make vehicle wrapping effective. You have 2 vans wrapped, but they still really impact your image.
The image is everything when it comes to a business. Get compliments on them all the time.
A good vehicle wrap is an investment in your business.
Most definitely investment. We get calls frequently that people saw our van, and that's how we get the word of mouth. Our 2 installers, they're in there every day, so it's pretty much home for them. Being able to look sharp going down the road is important to them.
So to upgrade your company image and your mobile office, you know where to go.
Go to a pro. Sign Pro. Call 782-3456.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, Wisconsin is continuing fall camp in Madison as their season opener only 2 weeks away. They're doing so with a new quarterback, with Jack Cohn undergoing foot surgery and being out indefinitely. Redshirt freshman Graham Mertz has taken over as the number one guy. It was a sudden change for the former four-star recruit. The quarterback's coach, John Budmeier, says he sees the same guy now as he was before the injury to Cohn.
I didn't see anything with his play that changed. There wasn't like all of a sudden Sunday he came out and he was mistake-free and wasn't doing anything wrong. Like, he had mistakes, he played well, he made good decisions, made poor decisions, and those are what we have to continue to correct. And I think the more we can keep him in the moment and getting better each day, then it's going to help him in the long run as well as with this team.
Cohn was considered a great leader and had the trust of the entire offense. That's something Mertz still trying to build.
The biggest thing is just showing it on field and showing it in the locker room, knowing how to lead. No one takes leadership the same way. Like, everybody has their own little mold, and you get on one guy, you can't yell at one guy. You got to just kind of find that happy balance. I think that the biggest thing right now for me just to build that trust is to execute in practice.
Wisconsin will open the season October 23rd or 24th against Illinois.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
As the number one farm insurer in Wisconsin, Rural Mutual Insurance is rewarding their farm policyholders for their loyalty and commitment to Wisconsin agriculture through their farm dividend program. The farm dividend pays up to 5% back on your farm premium. Visit ruralmutual.com to learn how you could qualify.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, the Packers have re-signed Reggie Bagleton to their practice squad. Wide receiver got called up for Monday night's game, saw 3 snaps on offense. It was released afterwards, cleared waivers, now back in Green Bay. Packers on their bye week, be at Tampa next week. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Buzzard Billy's is my favorite restaurant in all of downtown La Crosse, and for great reason. It's got the best food. In the entirety of downtown, there has not been a restaurant that I have found to have better food than Buzzard Billy's. Now, Rob is a big music fan, loves ZZ Top. Rob's always got great music going at Buzzard Billy's. They've always got good vibes going at Buzzard Billy's. Coming up on Friday, early release happy hour, 11 a.m. till 4 p.m., half price on select appetizers, stuff like the Crescent City Poutine. You get the quesadilla, chicken quesadilla, exceptional. All sorts of great appetizers are half price. Exceptional wing specials, great drink specials, $2 taps, pints that they've got on tap, 20 different beers on tap over there at Buzzards, including some of your favorite local breweries, Pearl Street, Turtle Stack, and others. If I'm looking for a great night out, birthday, anniversary, heck, just a great Friday afternoon to enjoy some great deals, it's Buzzard Billy's. And there's really no question about it. It's my favorite restaurant in all of downtown La Crosse, and it's been so for my entire time out here. 4 years, man, in November. Buzzard Billy's, great place to be. If you haven't been there in some time, go check them out. The weather is going to be exceptional. We're talking 70s this week, 80s over the weekend, perhaps. There's still plenty of time to get outside. Have some fun on the street because they got tables set up right there for you.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Tom Brady was reminded last night he's not in New England anymore. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line struggled, and the whole team lacked discipline, including Brady. Adding insult to injury, Brady lost track of the number of downs on the final drive of the game in the Bucs' 20-19 loss in Chicago. All the things we took for granted in New England just aren't the case in Tampa Bay. Patriots may not have had a lot of talent towards the end of Brady's stay, at least offensively, but they usually played smart football. The Buccaneers did not last night and let a game slip away that they should have won. There's no reason to think yet in Tampa. They're still getting used to one another, and they were shorthanded because of injuries last night. They've got a lot of work to do. Brady was clearly not happy with his teammates last night. You can be sure he'll be all over them as soon as they hit the practice field after that demoralizing loss to the Chicago Bears. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, I'm going to tell you how you can save over $400 a year by switching to Pure Talk. Look at your last cell phone bill. What was your data usage? The average person who switches to Pure Talk is using less than 4 gigs of data a month. But the big carriers are charging you for unlimited data. It's like paying for an entire row on an airplane, but only needing one seat. How about unlimited talk, text, and 2 gigs of data for just $20 a month? And if you go over on data usage, they don't charge you for it. Switching to Pure Talk is the easiest decision you're going to make today, and you won't regret it. These guys are rated number one by Consumer Affairs. So grab your mobile phone, dial pound 250 and say Dan Patrick. And when you do, you'll save 50% off your first month. Again, you dial pound 250 and say keyword Dan Patrick. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text from Pure Talk USA.
If you're a fan of Wisconsin sports, then don't miss the Bill Michaels Show on WKTY. From border to border, we've got Wisconsin sports covered. Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. We'll bring you the latest on your favorite team along with expert guests. And we'll make some time for your opinions as well. Just give us a call. The Bill Michaels Show, weekday afternoons from 11 to 2 on Western Wisconsin sports leader, WKTY, 96.7 FM, 580 AM.
Welcome back to Onalaska High School. Drew Kelly and Hunter Baumgardt live with you here this evening. Hunter, obviously a big-time drive, as we mentioned, coming up for the West Salem Panthers as we start the second half in about a couple of minutes' time here. But what are your keys to the second half and trying to get some success for both these teams? What do both teams need to do?
Yeah, exactly. I think, West Salem, we talked about a little bit ago, just that fatigue will probably set in at some point, just kind of getting through that. They're stretching out some players as we speak, just trying to make sure those cramps don't happen. In a hot night like tonight, cramps can happen. Some of your bigger players can maybe come out of the game for some key plays. So you just got to keep loose, continue to hydrate. Onalaska, I'm sure they would like to be up by more. I think they would like, obviously they had that 4th and goal on the 1 and decided to try an option play and it didn't work out. They eventually ended up turning it over. They had 4 turnovers last week against Edgar. So I think they want a clean half, right? Get a clean half, couple of touchdown drives. They scored 7 points last week, 8 so far this week. I'm sure they want to get a couple of more touchdowns as Coach Yashinsky wants to bring this team to what they were in that first week and scoring 39 against Toma. But, they both have some good, they both showed some great signs in that first half. They both did some things well. They both did some things that they want to work on. Onalaska obviously wanting to keep the football and not turn it over, and West Salem just continue to battle, and that's what they've done tonight. They've shown a lot of grit and spirit, and I think that's going to really help them in this second half overcome any fatigue that they may show.
I want to thank the Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning Sportscaster Club sponsors. Appreciate, obviously, Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, Firefighters Credit Union, and our sponsor for the video stream as well. Thanks to them. Really do appreciate their support. Fossum Funeral Home, Kratt Lumber, Mr. Electric, Schumacher Kish Funeral Home, Wafer, Magnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning, Tostert and Temp, Tiller Furniture, 5 Star Telecom, Ace of Lacrosse, and Dark Fox Enterprises. So, also, obviously with this pandemic, we just hope that all of you support all those businesses that support these athletes and try to, help you watch these games, because it's just not the same with fewer fans in the stands, and you got to be able to find creative ways to still tune in to your favorite athletes' endeavors, and we're glad that we can bring you this game here tonight. Ben Foss will be kicking off. It'll be Dumars back to receive the kick for West Salem. Foss's arm is up in the air. And now we are set to go. The run-up and the kick. We're underway for the second half. 8-6 Onalaska. It's going to be Dumars at his own 10-yard line. He gets across the 20 to the 25 and out to the 31-yard line. So good return, good patient return there by Dumars, as it took a while to set up. But West Salem has some good field position to open up the second half.
Yeah, for as good as that kick was, getting it back to the 10-yard line. Nice job by Dumars to get all the way back to the 30. And now West Salem, like we mentioned, this is a big drive for them. They can go down and score, kind of take a little bit of control of the game early in the second half. I think Coach Yen would really, really like that.
So LaFleur will come out. Noah LaFleur, like a little bit of quarterback last year. Obviously, it was kind of a rotating type of situation at quarterback, and a lot of those positions, it was kind of lower numbers. It was just a tough year for West Salem, but you got to love the way that they've started this season with all the ways that the season has gone against them, even to this point here in week 3, their first game of the year. Here's the quick pass out to the left side, and that's going to be complete by Niemeyer, and he gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage and is dumped there. It's going to be second down and 10. Tight coverage by the Onalaska secondary.
Yeah, very good coverage on that screenplay, and we saw that exact play earlier, and it went backwards. It was an incompletion that almost was a fumble, so I'm sure they want to just get that play to have some success and at least complete it, so then they can feel like they can run it later in the game.
Second down, and maybe he lost a half yard, so second down and a long 10. Just underway, first minute gone by here in this second half. 8-6, Onalaska on top of West Salem. Shotgun formation to the backfield for LaFleur with Dumars to his left. Wide receiver goes in motion. That's Niemeyer. They fake it to him, and on the read option this time, it is LaFleur going nowhere. Hilltoppers read it well that time. It's going to be third down and 10. That play killed the Hilltoppers a few times in that first half.
Yeah, it did, and LaFleur was able to get some space early in the game, but that's obviously a halftime adjustment. Coach Jashinsky probably saying, we can defend this better, and we can make sure we stay home, as the saying goes, and that's what they did, and now it forced West Salem into a third and long, and West Salem could possibly be in a bad spot here if they were not to get it.
Third down and 10. You got two receivers out to each side. Shotgun formation. LaFleur with Dumars to his left. Dumars goes in motion. It's a read option, and now they'll pitch it late to Dumars. A long pitch out to the outside. They've got room along the edge. Dumars across midfield, and they'll mark him down at the 49-yard line. What a play by West Salem.
Wow, that was about as late of a pitch as you can get. He was near the line of scrimmage. He obviously wasn't passed because they didn't call illegal forward pass, but wow, what a pitch by LaFleur, somehow getting it. I mean, he was in the middle of like a group of players, so for him to get it over everybody and right to the intended receiver, if you will, or the running back, and then to have him go 20 yards, impressive play.
First down and 10, a big-time third down pickup there for the Panthers. Receiver goes in motion. It's a read option this time. LaFleur is again stuffed at the line. Big for 13 for the Hilltoppers in there for the stop. Gavin Southworth. And it's second down and 10 as the thing about that pitch, it actually had to travel about 6 feet. That was the thing that amazed me. I mean, not even, he was obviously late on the pitch and the timing was a little bit weird, but as he said, Hunter, getting it over the couple of defenders' heads, and that launched about 5 or 6 feet away from where the running back was from where he was, and it was just right on the money.
You know what they did perfectly on that pitch? Socially distant.
That's exactly right.
Distanced.
Boom-ching. Second down and 10. It's going to be a play-action fake, and it's going to be incomplete. Almost caught and almost intercepted at the same time. Oh, and now we've got an injury as Niemeyer looks like he rolled his ankle. Getting in there for the breakup. It looks like it was number 2, Michael Saverin, maybe, who had the coverage. Third down and 10. He's going to hobble to the sideline as Niemeyer, third down and 10. That was a pretty good play-action fake and a pretty good pass. Just good coverage on the back end as well.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, Niemeyer going to the sideline, and he will get a look at it. Hopefully it's just maybe a quick little roll of the ankle, but he was able to run off and hobble off the field. Didn't need to be carried off, so that's the good part. Now, another third down. We saw the pitch happen last third down. What do they do here? We'll see. 2
receivers to each side. LaFleur straight back in the pocket. Has some time. Now fires to the left side, and Wayward trying to get Jack Healy on a comeback route. That's going to bring up fourth down, and it's going to be a punting situation at the Onalaska 49-yard line. But compared to where the Panthers were on that previous third down, I think, you take about 3 minutes off the clock. I'd say this first possession is a win, Hunter.
I think so, too. I think you can back up on Alaska, and your defense has been very, very good tonight so far against both the pass and the run. That big play to Landon Peterson being the only time Onalaska's scored. So I think, like you said, they can count it as a win, and we'll see if the Onalaska offense can get going maybe after this punt.
So it's going to be, I think, an illegal substitution as a man went out of the huddle late. The ref threw a pink flag. I don't know if there's some sort of significance of that or not. But I guess a flag is a flag, right? So it's going to be a 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15, as he launches the pink flag into the air. I think everybody was a little bit... well, they got some armbands, so it might be some breast cancer awareness.
I was just going to say that.
Going on here. So first down and 15. So here's the nice spiraling punt, sending Nicky Odom back to his own 16-yard line. Now he's got a head of steam, and he is cut down across the 25 out to the 28-yard line. So a pretty good return there by Odom after he had to back up on a pretty good punt by LaFleur. And it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Hilltoppers for their next possession.
Yeah, not too bad field position. Onalaska kind of starting where West Salem started on that last possession, around the 30-yard line, a couple of yards short of the 30 for West Salem. And now's the time, maybe you take a shot play here early, but Romero's out there as well. And Romero plays on the defensive line for Onalaska as well. So he's on both sides of the ball.
1st down and 10. Here is Peterson on the jet sweep. Romero is the lead blocker. And a nice cut back up inside by Peterson. He still keeps on his feet. Gets about 5 or 6 yards on the play. Finally wrapped up there by number 9 for West Salem. That's Adam Gorski. And it's 2nd down and medium.
Landon Peterson is such a valuable player to this Onalaska offense. He can catch the ball, run the ball. And when he runs, he's not just his speed in open space. He can make space for himself and cut back and do so many things. He's just so versatile, and that really helps that Onalaska offense.
2nd down and 5, pistol formation. It's going to be a handoff to Saverin. Big hole between left guard and left tackle, and he is thrown down on the play there by number 25 for West Salem, Noah LaFleur, but it's good enough, I believe, for a 1st down, and that moves the chains. We've seen a few big-time holes by the offensive line these last few possessions for the Hilltoppers. We'll see if they can kind of get their running game going a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. And Saverin made, an early mistake in this game, but then was able to, it took a couple of plays off. You saw Romero get some more time in the backfield, but then they put Saverin in there, got a couple plays to get his confidence back, and now he's really running well. And like you said, that offensive line opening up some holes.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Handoff to Saverin again. This time he is in the backfield. Somehow escapes. He was almost ankle tackled 3 or 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Squirms out of there and picks up about 3. Rice, nice fit of running there for Michael Saverin to get what he can. It's a gain of about 2.
But he broke that tackle.
Yeah, like you said, just somehow got out of that in the backfield. Had 3 or 4 Panthers around him, got out of it, got 3 or 4 yards, and he's just running with more confidence as we have a Hilltopper come out of the game for what looks like a cramp.
2nd down and 7. It is fairly warm outside on this October night. Here's the screen set up, and Saverin had some space out in front of him. He had to kind of wait for the pass from Larson, and it's dropped, and it's going to be 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, Saverin waited for the pass, but also took his eyes off and tried to run before he had the football. And as everybody says around the game of football, that does not help when you try to run without having the football. So
he was definitely looking forward to see where his blockers were. And just for that split second, took his eyes off, and that's all it took. He almost caught it back off again, and just not able to hang on. 3rd down and 7. 3 receivers on the field, 1 to the right, 2 to the left. Saverin lines up beside Larson in the shotgun. It's going to be a designed rollout to the left side. Here's the throw. Intercepted on the play. Cutting in front of the receiver that time was number 22 for West Salem. That was Sam Schmidt. And West Salem with a big-time pick of the Hilltoppers, and they've got great field position for their next offensive drive.
Just cut right in front of the receiver, and, I don't know if Larson saw him necessarily. It was a low throw and a nice play by Schmidt to get on the ground and kind of slide and make that catch, and immediately both of his knees were on the ground, so the play immediately stopped. He had control, and West Salem with an interception. That makes 2 turnovers tonight for Onalaska. They had 4 against Edgar, so we'll see if that number continues to climb.
A couple of turnovers against Toma as well, but obviously the game was well in hand. Tonight, not as much. It's an 8-6 ball game. Hilltoppers with a slim 2-point lead. Here's the shotgun formation. Another almost throw this time out to the flat. And only about maybe a gain back to the line of scrimmage as Dumars is cut down quite quickly. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. Tracy and Zumak and a host of other Hilltoppers getting in there for the stop.
Yeah, it seemed like kind of a pitch play, but then Dumars was too far forward in order to pitch it, so he then had to go with the overhand throw. And by the time that all happened, Onalaska was sniffing it out and was able to tackle him right out of bounds there for a loss instead of a gain.
And mark him down right at the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 as the Hilltoppers have 2 receivers out to the left side and 2 to the right. And here is a draw play to Dumars, and that was one of the least productive draws they've had here tonight, as Onalaska immediately in the backfield to nail Dumars for about a 5-yard loss. 3rd down and 15 upcoming.
Yeah, that was just Onalaska knew exactly where that ball was going. Hardly anybody went after LaFleur, who went up the middle, and now you have a 3rd and long play, and I'd be surprised if we don't see LaFleur try to make a play with his arm here.
Obviously a passing down. We'll see what kind of play they come up with here. It's going to be 3rd down and 15 at the 44-yard line. Sorry, at the 39-yard line of West Salem. 2 receivers to each side. Shotgun formation. LaFleur pressured immediately. Somehow gets out of the sack. Now just fires it out of bounds wisely, avoiding about a 20-yard loss. And that's a win here, even LaFleur, as he gives the punter a little bit more room. A great pressure up front by Onalaska almost immediately in his face. No chance there for LaFleur.
Yeah, like you said, immediate pressure, and very smart by LaFleur to just throw it out of bounds, because he was back at his own 25 or so, and that punt, you could have your punter punting from like the 10 at that point. So very smart play by LaFleur, and Onalaska with another opportunity here.
So 4th down and 15, and here's a nice snap, the driving punt, and it's going to bounce at the 30-yard line and take a couple of nice West Salem hops, and is about the same result as a touchback, as it's finally down at the 20-yard line. So, field position-wise, I think West Salem's done a pretty good job forcing Onalaska to go the length of the field here in this second half, and, you've had just a couple of unfortunate plays if you're the Panthers, but so far they've done a decent job, I think, in the second half of at least stemming the tide of all that momentum that was the Hilltoppers in the end of the first half.
Exactly, and so now Onalaska with an opportunity here, and see if Coach Yashinsky wants to run or pass.
1st down and 10. Handoff is to Romero. Skips over to a defender in the line, and he gets about 5 yards. Finally wrapped up by number 61 for West Salem. That is Ryan Nichols. Well, that's 2nd down and medium.
Yeah, Onalaska really has a nice 1-2 punch with Romero and Savrin. They used Savrin a lot in the last drive, gave Romero some time off because, of course, he plays on the defensive side, and then now they're able to put Romero in there, and he's got some more fresh legs.
Handoff is to Romero. Big hole. He just explodes through it, keeps the legs driving, and he's all the way out to the 39-yard line. Pick up a 14 on 2nd and 5. And that's another big 1st down for the Hilltoppers.
He might have lost it at the end of that play, because different Hilltopper came out of there with the football, and Sam Schmidt was trying to yank it out of there, but either way, Onalaska comes out of there with it, and Schmidt was, he got the interception on the last drive, now trying to force a fumble.
1st down and 10 at the 38-yard line, so the recovery lost him a yard, and here is the play-action fake going deep down the middle of the field and incomplete. Landon Peterson looking for the flag, saying he was held as he was going for that pass. 2nd down and 10. And now another Panther will go down in a cramp. Looks like Jack Healy there at the 26-yard line. Yep, and they're going to stretch him out.
Yeah, this is going to happen. You got a warm October night, warmer than a usual October night. We at least tied the record high for the day for October 9th ever in lacrosse at 85. I don't know if we then beat it. I know we tied it at 4 o'clock. That's your random fact of the day here on WKTY.
2nd down and 10 as we await Jack Healy getting some attention. And coming up next week on WKTY, the WKTY Game of the Week. Week number 4 in the high school football season. Week number 3 for our broadcasts. And as of now, is what we will say. The plan is Toma at these West Salem Panthers. So the team that Onalaska played in the first week will be traveling to West Salem. And West Salem was set to play Holman. Obviously, Holman and Sparta moving their seasons to the to the spring. So we got quite a few area teams. You got Holman now, you got Sparta, you got Logan and Central all playing in the spring. And that's going to be an interesting sight as far as kind of where the weather is at that time, with the fields, with the grass fields, how's that going to look with, the middle of a spring? I think, the one nice thing with Logan, obviously with UW La Crosse, if they're allowed to play at that field, you got a lot of nice turf fields around the area that have really stepped up their game, these school districts have, and wanted to really make it the field turf really as nice as they possibly could. And that really obviously bodes well for a lot of these spring football teams if they're willing to get these games on at those locations.
Yeah, we get 2 for the price of 1 this year with a fall season and a spring season of football. Obviously, we'll see what happens in the spring. We don't, as we've seen, we don't know exactly what's going to be the case in 6 months, but hoping they can get a season in, and especially for the seniors and the guys that worked so hard the last 2 or 3 years playing football, hoping that they can get another chance on the field, whether it's this fall with some of these teams we'll be covering, or spring, which hopefully we'll be covering them as well.
A couple of rule changes as far as the basketball season is concerned. They're getting rid of the jump ball this year, so the away team will start with the foot basketball in the first half, and then they'll switch it to the home team for the second half. So just trying to keep the refs away from the athletes, I'm thinking, for the jump ball, but everything is just an experiment, really, trying to get these seasons and games played. Here's, as we're back to action, Romero is stuffed in the backfield, going nowhere, loses a couple. In there for the stop, leading the way for the Panthers was C.J. McConkey. Hadn't heard from him for a few quarters, or a couple of quarters, but he does a nice job there to get his nose in, get the 2-yard loss. 3rd down and 12. Big play for the Hilltoppers here, as they're not really in 4-down territory right now. 5:16 to go in the third quarter.
No problem. We got a big 3rd down here for Onalaska.
1 receiver right, 2 left. Here's the pass over the middle, incomplete, a little bit behind Nicky Odom. Had it on his hands, but he probably was going to get tackled pretty quickly anyway. The defense was keyed in on him, the slot receiver on the right side. It's going to be 4th down and 12. And once again, a nice stop by the West Salem defense to get it back to their offense, and we'll see what happens on the other side of the football.
Yeah, and Alaska with another punting scenario here, and the defense for West Salem continues to make plays. I think that break of, obviously you don't want nobody injured, nobody to have a cramp, but that break probably gave them a breather on the West Salem side and kind of get refreshed and force a punt.
4th down and 11, 5:06 to go, third quarter. Sam Pika kicks this one away. Sidewinder that will go out of bounds around the 40-yard line. We'll see where they officially mark it. They're going to say the 38-yard line. Are they going to walk any yardage off, or... And now another ref's going to come in and say, all right, it was a little bit further up. Now they'll say the 43-yard line officially. So pretty good field position for the Panthers again, and obviously with Jack Healy out, you lose an offensive weapon on the outside. Might be a C.J. Dumars type of performance here this drive.
Yeah, Healy with that big catch, setting up the touchdown for West Salem on their only touchdown drive of the game in the first half. That big play to him. So he's the guy LaFleur likes to go to. Obviously, he's going to have to use some other guys, and like you said, Dumars probably going to be running it a lot in the backfield.
Colin Dumars to the left of LaFleur, and they hand it off to him. He avoids a tackle in the backfield. That was the big Romero, who has been a big-time factor offensively and defensively, but a good job by the Hilltoppers to flow to the football after the missed tackle. Johansson gets him in the backfield. It's going to be 2nd down and about 12.
Onalaska's defense continuing to be pretty stout in the second half against the run. Clock continues to roll, still 8-6, and man, this is a lot like last week between Edgar and Onalaska. These 2 games have been eerily similar.
Just a war of attrition right now in the lines of scrimmage and trying to get any sort of advantage you possibly can. And I think those runs to the outside are starting to wear thin, I think, on the West Salem offense. They might have to go more to the middle of the field. And now we got another delay game and another sort of situation where you think about only 1 or 2 padded practices, and this is kind of what happens. The clock management and getting the play in quickly enough. This is kind of the thing that gets a little bit missed when you're just working on the fundamentals.
Yeah, exactly. And, that those in-game situations and kind of, like you said, clock management. And so we'll see if they can get the yards back. They've had a couple of penalties tonight, one of which they've been able to erase on a big play, but We'll see if they can erase it here or if Onalaska takes advantage and maybe backs them up even more.
Good to see number 11, Zach Niemeyer, back into the game. He left with what appeared to be an ankle injury in the second half, and now here is a quarterback draw by LaFleur, and they're not fooled at all. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play out to the 39-yard line. 3rd down and 15 upcoming as we wind the clock inside 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Still 8-6, Onalaska on top.
Romero in on the stop there. He is everywhere for that Onalaska defense and offense. Of course, Onalaska with their both their running backs who get the most carries. Saverin and Romero both on the defensive side. Saverin a corner and Romero a defensive end.
3 receivers out to the left side, 1 receiver out to the right side, and here is LaFleur. Feels some pressure from the weak side, goes deep down the field, incomplete, a diving attempt. Not able to hold on, or get to it rather, there as the intended receiver was Andy Johnson. He got beyond the defenders. About 2 players did, actually. He had a couple of targets out there, but the pass was a little bit overthrown, and now it's going to be another probably cramping situation. Looks like Niemeyer again will be tended to. It's going to be 4th down and 15 at the 39-yard line with 3:03 remaining here in the third quarter. Once again, do want to thank all of our Sportscaster Club sponsors. The Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning Sportscaster Club, including Firefighters Credit Union, also our sponsor for the video feed. Fossum Funeral Home, Kratt Lumber, Mr. Electric, Schumacher Kish Funeral Home, Wafer, Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning, Toster and Temp, Tiller Furniture, 5-Star Telecom, Ace of Lacrosse, and Dark Fox Enterprises. All fine sponsors of the Sportscaster Club. Green Bay Packers with a week off, so no Packers football on WKTY. Our sister station, KQ98, will have Vikings football at about 6 o'clock for the pregame, 7:20 as the Vikings head to Seattle on Sunday Night Football for a game with the Seahawks. You can catch all the action with Paul Allen on our sister station, KQ98. And the Packers will be back in action the following week, so next Sunday, a 3:25 matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. And we talk about high school players forgetting about the clock. Even pros do it. Tom Brady forgetting what down it was, which led to the end of the game last night as the Buccaneers lost to the Chicago Bears 20-19. So it can happen to anybody, even Tom Brady, even though he says he didn't.
Of course he did.
What's he going to say? What's he going to say? 4th down as the Panthers are going to punt this one away as we get back to high school action. It's going to be Nikki Odom and Dane Woods back there to receive the punt. And here is the punt. It's going to be a spiraling one and almost hit a Panther and takes kind of a sideways hop, and just downing the football right there was number 5, Andy Johnson, who dove for the reception on that previous play. Couldn't get to it that time. He's right in this situation again. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line for the Hilltoppers on their next possession with 2:57 remaining until the final stanza of the game.
You know, we have a whole quarter left, but it kind of feels like whoever scores next is really going to be at a good spot in this game, especially Onalaska. If they're able to score, with the way West Salem's offense has been shaky in this second half, Onalaska's defense has been good. If Onalaska gets a score here, they're in a real good spot.
Pitch play to the speedster, Michael Saverin. He cuts back upfield. Nice job to break through a few defenders, and he's into the secondary across the 45 to the 46-yard line. He jitterbugs his way through a few defenders, and a nice carry on 1st and 10. And it's a 15-yard gain out to the 46-yard line. Just an explosive athleticism there for Michael Saverin.
Yeah, exactly. Got a little bit of room and made things happen like he usually does if he gets some space. And like you said, he's a speedster, just kind of can cut through holes and make moves, and very impressive.
Hand off this time to the power back Romero. He powers through the defenders, and he's off to the races, to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Albert Romero from 64 yards gets the job done. And what a run that time by Thunder. the unofficial nickname. It's not really his nickname, probably, for Albert Romero, but a fantastic run by the power factor of the duo in the backfield, and it's going to be 14-6. And do they go for an extra point or the 2-point conversion? We'll have to see on this play.
That was a textbook Romero play, getting through the line, making a couple people miss, just basically putting a couple Panthers on their back, and then eventually breaking through and having open space. Romero, after contact, is so good.
Ben Foss will kick the extra point. It's 14-6 to make it a 2-possession game here. And they snap the hold. The kick is up. That one is good, and we've got a 2-possession ball game. It's 15-6. In a blink of an eye, a 64-yard scamper by Albert Romero. And it's a 9-point lead here for the Onalaska Hilltoppers. We'll be back in 60 seconds right after this. You're listening to the high school football game of the week on WKTY.
I'm Dave Carney, host of the WKTY Morning Show, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. on WKTY, on the WKTY app, and heck, streaming worldwide at WKTYsports.com. What is the WKTY Morning Show? Well, it's a dose of sports. We'll talk more Green Bay Packer football and Milwaukee Brewer baseball throughout the morning, that is for sure. Joe DeGuano, our Green and Gold Insider, is going to jump aboard at 7:15. We'll have G. Bills at 8:20, so plenty of Brewers and plenty of Packers still to come this morning. It's a bit of music. Guitar Slayers coming up this morning. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, ZZ Top, Eric Clapton, just to name a few. We tried to have a lot of fun. Yeah, I didn't have time to pull up my Big Lebowski sounder. You need a tow? I can get you a tow by 2 o'clock. You need a tow? Hey,
that's good.
If you're a sports fan, if you're a comedy fan, hey, if you're a music fan, you're going to find yourself in a good spot on the WKTY Morning Show with me, Dave Carney.
Back here at Onalaska High School and dropping the football at about the 3-yard line, a big-time kick. Taking Justin Barney back to his own 3. He dropped it momentarily, picked it up, and had a head of steam, and he is out to the 28-yard line. So first down and 10, make it the 29. So what could have been a disaster, Hunter, turns out to be not such a bad play after all. Justin Barney, a nice job by him.
Yeah, they start exactly where they did on that first drive in that first half, and they weren't able to get anything going there. And this is a critical time for West Salem. They're now down 2 possessions, and the way their offense has been going, they aren't scoring quickly, and they aren't scoring very often. So they need to score at some point here on this drive or maybe the next one in order to stay in this one, because you give Onalaska the football, they go down and score, and might be over.
Jack Healy back into the ball game. Good sign for the Panther offense as they try to get some explosive plays, and now another delay a game. I think that's 4, Hunter.
I believe you're right.
My math is correct. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty here, and that's not what you need. I mean, you're trying to get the things going, and before you even snap the football, it's automatic 5 yards backwards, so it's going to be 1st and 15 for the Panther offense. And we're going to have West Salem back next week here on WKTY. It'll be interesting to see kind of the adjustments and how they've changed things and tried to improve that aspect of their game. 1st and 15, LaFleur straight back in the pocket. We've got a flag and a false start this time, and thing going backwards in a hurry here for the Panthers. And the Onalaska faithful applaud in approval. And now we've got 1st and 20 back at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, it looked kind of like almost the whole line went before the ball was snapped. Just kind of not knowing when they're going as far as the snap goes. And so, yeah, 1st and 20, not a good scenario here for West Salem on a drive they need to do well on. They need to have some success, some pass, some run. We'll see what they do, but now they're in a tough spot. 1st and 20.
2 receivers out to each side. Shotgun formation. LaFleur, Dumars to his left. Shotgun formation, and now here's a lot of movement again. Here's the screen by Healy. Healy is going to get crushed as he broke through the initial tackle, but then is dumped on the play by Colton Hogan. He picked up maybe 3 or 4 out to the 23-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and about 16 on the play.
Yeah, Onalaska's defense really impressive right now, just flocking to whoever has the ball and making some nice tackles. Haven't seen a lot of missed tackles in this second half. So West Salem, they're going to have an uphill climb here.
Healy's been on the end of a couple of hellacious hits, one on a special teams play and then on that one as well. 2nd down and 17. They call it a gain of 3 at the 22-yard line. LaFleur pump fakes, goes deep down the right sideline. Healy with a step, and they say incomplete pass. Pretty good coverage that time by Michael Saverin, going step for step with him. It's going to be 3rd down and long as they tried the streak pattern up the right sideline.
Yeah, I think Healy was trying to do a little bit of acting there, putting the right arm up, trying to get the call, but the referee was smart enough to keep the flag in the pocket. Now you have a 3rd and very long for West Salem, and you almost have to do kind of not the same play, but something similar in a deep pass to try to get it going, or maybe even just get one of your guys in space here. They just have not been able to do that in the second half.
Saverin will be on Healy again, so we'll watch that matchup closely on the bottom of the field. 3 receivers out to the left side. Here is the read option. It's going to be a keeper by LaFleur, and he's not going anywhere. And the Onalaska defense starting to really keep putting the pressure on LaFleur here in this second half. He's had not a lot of time in the pocket when he's thrown, and they're really keying in on his running ability here in this second half. Those adjustments by Coach Yashinsky really paying off.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw that on the first drive of the second half, and now we're seeing it more and more as the second half has continued. They're just not fooled by that option and or those fake handoffs.
Nick Odom back to receive the punt. It's going to be a punt that hits at the 47-yard line, takes a few good West Salem hops and gets all the way down to the 31-yard line. So that's one thing West Salem special teams has done a good job of punting here in this game. Joseph Daly, the punter, has the punting down as far as getting the rolls in his favor. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line for the Hilltoppers as they've got it with 45 seconds to go until quarter number 4. They've got a 9-point lead, looking for more.
Yeah, like you said, Daly's really been able to flip field position for West Salem, and that's been huge because Onalaska has only scored 2 touchdowns, and that's part of the reason why.
Pitch play to Saverin up the right side, and he is going to slip as he tried to cut it back up in, and it's going to be a gain of nothing. Got tackled by a host of Panthers. 2nd down and 10 upcoming. We've seen a few slipping incidents here in these first 2 games, really, with the Hilltoppers and Edgar, and now with the Hilltoppers of the Panthers. 2nd down and 9.
Still getting their footing underneath them, both literally and figuratively.
1st and 10 doesn't go much. 2nd down and 9 now. Handoff is to, I believe, Sam Pika. Actually, Dane Woods, number 10, as opposed to number 11, gets about 2 on the play. Out to the 34.5-yard line. And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. So a big play coming up to start the 4th, a 3rd down and 8 for Onalaska. Panthers try to get the football back and get some momentum. They trail by 9. We're back for the 4th quarter after this. This is the high school football game of the week on WKTY.
Midwest Family. Instead of just creating ads, we create strategies.
We don't simply want to put your business on the radio.
My job consists of being a consultant.
Every plan that we build is customized specifically for you, and that's across all platforms, including social and digital media, website design, and running radio ads.
It's taking all those different pieces and then putting them together into a comprehensive plan.
We want to discuss how we can help your business grow. We want to discuss your business.
There's nothing more important to us than our advertisers' success. And that's why it is so awesome to have these great success stories. Just call one of our current clients and ask.
Systematic solution for measurable marketing results. Midwest Family. Midwest Family.
Back here at Onalaska High School, start of the 4th quarter. Drew Kelly and Hunter Baumgardt live with you tonight. 15-6, the Hilltoppers with the lead, getting set for this 3rd down and 8 at their own 35-yard line. And here is the pass by Larson, and he is sacked on the play all the way back to the 25-yard line, so that's a loss of 5. Number 56 flying in there, Nathan Gribble. That's a big-time play for the West Salem defense, and it's going to get it back to their offense.
Yeah, like you said, just a massive play by the West Salem defense at a time they absolutely needed it, because they're going to get it now really to start this fourth quarter. You go down and score, you're right in it in the fourth quarter. And so this is a big punt and big possession coming for West Salem.
Sam Pika back to punt this one away. Jack Healy will stand at his own 43-yard line. He calls for the fair catch, receives it at the 48-yard line. So really good field position here for the West Salem Panthers, and that was a jolt. You could really feel it, the momentum and kind of the energy kind of increase on the West Salem sideline and the West Salem huddle. We'll see if that kind of takes its toll on the offensive side as well if they get a jolt of energy.
Yeah, they're doing more fist bumps in the huddle, and I think they're ready to make a good drive here. They haven't been able to score in this second half. They've very much struggled. Onalaska's defense has been really good, especially against the run. LaFleur's missed a pass or two. See if that changes on this drive.
First down and 10 at the 48-yard line of West Salem. 2 receivers to each side. Niemeyer goes in motion to the left, and now it's a handoff up the middle to Dumars, and that's kind of what we saw in the first half, Hunter, just to run up the middle, get about 2 or 3, 4 yards, and see what second and medium can bring.
Yeah, exactly, and we've seen a lot of that tonight. Dumars has gotten a lot of touches, but Onalaska has been pretty stout, especially on, like you said, second and third down. If West Salem tries to go somewhere else with the football, they've been pretty stout at that as well. So, see what they do.
Second down and 7, 2 receivers to each side. Shotgun formation. Here's the handoff to Dumars again. Dumars lowers his shoulder, tries to get what he can, maybe another 2 or 3 yards. It's going to be third down and about 4. And really, this is their best offense right now, is just giving it to Dumars and trying to get 2 or 3 yards at a time, because those read options are really starting to, be figured out by the Onalaska defense. Running it to the side, Dumars isn't really working out as well. And maybe you now take a shot deep to Healy.
You definitely could do that, or maybe give it to Dumars again, and you get the 2 or 3 more, and then set up a 4th and short. So, yeah, I would think you're in 2-down territory here.
They are going to do the play-action fake. They get it out to Barney. Barney with a nice juke move to get away from the defenders. He's into the secondary. Finally pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That's a big-time play of 21 yards and puts the Panthers close to the red zone.
That is a massive third down conversion, and not just a third down conversion, but a gain of 20. And Barney with a nice move after getting that screen. He had a defender near him, but a nice block, and then just getting past the defender, going for 20 yards. And West Salem in a good spot now to tighten this game up.
First down and 10. 2 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the right. That's Healy alone, and here's the handoff to Dumars. Dumars lowers his head, follows the offensive lineman for a gain of about 2. Down to the 29-yard line. So maybe a yard and a half on the play. It's going to be second down and 9.
Yeah, it looked like Onalaska expecting that one there. They had their box was stacked and they were ready for that run. But we'll see. I mean, this could set up like it did on that third down, like a play action. And even if you do a play action on a screen like it did Barney, you still suck some of the guys in. And if that is the case, you get maybe an open man downfield.
So second down and 9 after the 1-yard run by Dumars on the first and 10. 2 receivers split to each side. LaFleur in the shotgun formation. Dumars to his right. It'll be Niemeyer going motion to the right side here, and here's the rollout to the right. They're going to try to find Niemeyer. Now the throw to the left. The
ball is
incomplete. Almost caught there by Barney. I thought it was almost intercepted by Onalaska. Somehow it got through an Onalaska defender's hands. I believe that was Savarin on the coverage. Barney almost made another incredible catch. He's had a few of those here today. It's going to be third down and 9, nevertheless.
Yeah, a couple of opportunities. One by a Hilltopper, one by a Panther. Neither of them come up with it. And a big third down coming up.
I think he did catch it. He just was out of bounds, it looks like, on that situation. So third down and 9. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Read option. They're going to keep it with LaFleur. LaFleur tripped up as he gets close to the first down marker. He did a great job of faking that one. Everybody going with Dumars there, and it's going to be about a half-yard shy, I think, on 4th and inches here for the Panthers. They're actually going to say a full yard. 4th down and 1. 8:35 to go in the fourth quarter.
Huge play. Absolutely huge play here. If you're West Salem, you got to convert. Down 9 with under 8:30 to go.
Two receivers out to the right side, one to the left. Handoff is to Dumars, and I don't know if he got it. He tried to just fall forward, and he was expecting contact, I think, Hunter. And he just kind of tripped into the back of his lineman, and he's short. That's a big-time stop by the Onalaska defense. It goes back to their offense, and then we might see some time of possession kind of go into the favor of Onalaska here. This might be a time to burn some clock, I think, if you're head coach Tom Yashinsky.
I think so, too, and I think it looked like DeMars either slipped or, like you said, tried to dive forward, and either way, he was short on both accounts, and a big stop by the Onalaska Hilltopper defense.
So first down and 10, receivers split to each side, and now here is a little bit of miscommunication. Now it's going to be a quarterback draw. Larson keeps it, and he is dumped on the play, no gain. A little bit miscommunication, I think, in the backfield there, Hunter. It's going to be second down and 10. Adam Gorski with a tackle.
Yeah, it looked like he either tried to hand it off or do a pitch. None of it was there, and he tried to make a play happen off the right side. Was able to get some positive yardage, 1 or 2 yards, but not as much as they probably would have liked. And now West Salem's defense needs to come up, and they need to make plays quickly here.
Second down, 9. One receiver out to the right side. That's Peterson. Two receivers out to the left. They go to the left side. That's going to be Odom. A nice tackle hanging on for dear life on the flat there as they threw the little quick comeback pattern, trying to see the man who got the tackle. He's actually down on the field right now.
It's Healy, I believe.
Healy or McConkey with the tackle. Healy is down.
Healy gets the tackle, and Healy is down. So he's had some issues with those cramps, and it looks like that's what they're going after again. And being one of the least flexible people I know, watching that is just painful in and of itself. Seeing that leg go straight up in the air. And as you're cramping like that on a warm October night, I can't imagine it feels very good. But obviously, very, very needed as far as trying to get those muscles loosened up.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen plenty of this. In fact, from Healy earlier as well. But we've seen plenty of this, and it's near 70 degrees still outside, and the sun has went down, but it still remained a little humid. It's nice for us fans. We love it. I feel better.
Fine. I don't know what. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel better outside running the camera than I did last week when my hands could barely move at the end of the end of the broadcast. But either way, it's nice to have football, but of course the cramps come with warmer weather, and of course they're trying to stay as hydrated as they can, but these pauses in action are going to happen from time to time.
And Hunter, behind the scenes, we saw about 5 or 6 cases of water sitting, out near the practice or out near the sideline there, and I think they might have needed to go through all that water here tonight as the cramps continue. But good for Jack Healy, at least, trying to gut it out. I mean, he knows that it's a big-time game for his team, as Panthers went 0-9 last year, trying to get a big-time win against a conference rival. West Salem, a really proud history. A lot of great teams on that program, and obviously playing against a tough Mississippi Valley Conference each and every season. And then obviously they go down quite a bit in the playoffs into a lower division, obviously with the enrollment. And last year was kind of, you hope, just kind of a bit of a fluke year, a little bit of an outlier. It's a better time when West Salem is a good team, and you always have Holman, you always have Onalaska, but Central's made a big jump. Logan has historically been a really good playoff team, trying to get back to their heyday a little bit as well. As we get into the spring schedule, we'll see how they look, but I think we're really lucky as far as fans and broadcasters see all these great athletes out on the field, basketball, football. It's just a really good time to be a sports fan here in southwestern Wisconsin.
Absolutely. We've had competitive games. We had a competitive game last week with Onalaska Edgar, and now West Salem again. Like you said, the last year was their first winless season since 1987. First winless season since 1987. I mean, that's so good over 30 years of non-winless football. Of course, winning no games can be hard, but if you don't have a good team, then in high school you can go up against just bigger schools, and simply that'll be enough for the opposition to get the victory. So, West Salem is really trying to turn it around this year, and Coach Yen has talked about that this is kind of their second chance, right? They were supposed to play this game a couple of weeks ago. It didn't happen, so now he's really trying to get a message. He had a from what I was watching before the game, and you might have seen it on our video feed right before the kickoff, was he had his team huddled around him, and he was really giving a fiery speech to his team. And I think it probably was along the lines of, hey, we didn't know we'd have a season. We didn't know we'd be on this field tonight. Just go and have fun. Just play your hearts out. You never know when it'll be your last. Because literally, we don't know week to week.
We don't know week to week. That's absolutely correct. And still working on Jack Healy. We're going to take a 30-second break, see where we're at after this, and we'll be back on WKTY. Jack Healy getting help to the sideline. Stay with the game here as Healy will take a seat on the sideline. So big time third down coming up here with 7:30 to go in the fourth quarter. 15-6 Onalaska with the lead. And you feel maybe one turnover by this West Salem defense might do the job. I mean, they haven't had a turnover for a couple of quarters here. They might need one to get back into this game, at least field position wise. Here's the fumble on the play, and it's going to be picked up by West Salem down inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. A big-time sack by big number 50, Ethan Hager. And the West Salem Panthers, I asked for a turnover. They grant me a turnover, not specifically for me, but they have it now, first and goal inside the 10-yard line. What a big-time play by that West Salem defense. They have had some hellacious hits on Aiden Larson here tonight.
Flips the game completely. And, they might have... I think they really did grant you that wish, Drew, because, we have limited fans, so it's very, very quiet compared to other high school venues that we've been to in the past years, and I think they could hear you. And I think they can.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt. Here is the handoff to Dumars. Dumars and his friends power through the line, and he gets about 2 on the play. It's going to be second down and goal. 7:15 to go in the game. Coach Yashinsky talking about the turnovers on the pregame show with Dave Carney, the morning show host here on WKTY, and he's obviously a little frustrated right now as they try to keep the Panthers out of the end zone here on second down and goal at the 3-yard line. 6:53 to go. Clock still running. But a quick touchdown here would change the game entirely. Hand off to Dumars again, and he is stuffed again. In almost the same situation. He looks like he almost fell down, somehow stood himself up, and then went into the pile. So they're going to say it's no gain on the play. Rivers Zumach on the tackle. Third down and 3 on the 3. 6:25 to go. Obviously, two down territory here if you're the Panthers.
I think so. And you could do a chip shot field goal and get it to 15-9. Get it within one possession, so it's possible that Coach Jens thinking that, but obviously you'd love to score a touchdown here because then you're either down 3 or maybe even 1 if you get a 2-point conversion. So big play, especially on this third down.
So third down and goal, you can't turn it over. That's really the one thing that is going to be deadly if happens. And here is LaFleur. LaFleur, high snap over his head, and he's going to pick it up. Now he's still trying to scramble, and he's going to get finally dumped at the 20-yard line. And now you've got
you almost called
fourth
it again.
And goal at the 20-yard line. And, man, now you got, are you in the field goal range? I mean, it's not sure about the leg of number 3, Joseph Daly. I mean, he's a pretty good punter. We've seen his leg in the punting unit. We'll see what kind of play call Coach Yen comes up with here.
That's a massive, massive fumble and a high snap. All you need to do there, like you said, a turnover is costly. This is not as costly, but close, because now you basically need a kind of a Hail Mary play.
Type of Hail Mary play, because they're going for it for sure. Fourth and goal at the 20-yard line, 5:10 to go here in the game. 3 receivers out to the right side, 1 to the left. LaFleur straight back in the pocket. Looks for some time, goes deep down the field. He's got a man open, and it's going to be caught for the touchdown. Unbelievable. A 20-yard pass into the end zone, caught on the fly. Niemeyer with the catch and the touchdown. We've got a ball game at 15-12 with 4:57 to go in the game.
That's why you love that sports are back right there. Those types of moments. You never know when they're going to come, and absolutely amazing catch in the end zone by Niemeyer, and a great throw by LaFleur to set up. He had trips right, and they all went to the end zone, but they kind of left Niemeyer to himself, and a perfect throw where only Niemeyer could get it by LaFleur.
So it's going to be Daly with the extra point. Here is the hold, the snap, the kick is up, and it is good. So it is 15-13, 4:57 to go until the end of the game. And we're going to be back for the exciting finish right after this 60-second break. This is high school football right here on WKTY.
Midwest Family Entertainment.
You're getting married and there are so many things to do, but one thing that I can help you with is the entertainment. I'm Brittany Stiles, the manager of Midwest Family Entertainment, the one you'll be meeting with to discuss music and timeline and all of the little details that mean so much. If you're getting married next year or the year after, or maybe you're throwing together a last-minute winter wedding, I'd love to talk with you. Head to our website and click on reservations to get connected with me.
MidwestFamilyEntertainment.com.
Hey, it's Dave from the WKTY Morning Show wishing you all a very, very lovely weekend. The weather in La Crosse and surrounding areas is anticipated to be just beautiful. Coming up on Monday, I'll get you covered with all of the NFL Sunday action. We'll take a look back at Friday night's big high school football game right here on WKTY, Onalaska and West Salem. We'll check in with some college football scores, and we'll see how the Lakers and Heat series wrapped up. The Lakers were trying to win their 17th championship. Don't forget, bright and early Monday morning, the WKTY Sports Show with me, Dave Carney.
Back here at Onalaska High School, here's the kickoff, and it's going to be a little bit of a short kick taken by number 20 of Onalaska. That was Sean Gillis. And he got it out to about the 32-yard line. Seems to be a fairly common position for teams to start on these drives around the 30-yard line. It's going to be the 31 officially as we just passed the 9 o'clock hour. This is WKTY 96.7 FM, 580 AM. You're listening to high school football. Drew Kelly, Hunter Baumgardt live with you here tonight. 4:49 to go in the game. Onalaska looking to get some first downs and burn out this clock. But West Salem looking for a stop. Here is the handoff to Savarin, and Savarin gets about 5 yards and runs into an absolute wall on the far edge of the field, and it's going to be 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, obviously two main objectives, one for both teams on this drive. Onalaska obviously wants to run the football, get that clock as far down as they can. West Salem on the other side, all they need is one stop. They get the ball back, they could score and win this game. So two main objectives, one on each team.
And here's the handoff again, this time to Savarin. Savarin sneaks through. Actually, Romero, my apologies, plows through the crowd and gets about another 2. It's going to be 3rd down and about 3 at the 39-yard line. 4 minutes to go. Clock still running here in the fourth quarter. 15-13, Onalaska with a lead over West Salem. Pistol formation in the backfield. 2 receivers right, 1 left. And here's the handoff to Romero. Romero somehow gets out of a couple of tackles and drags defenders across the first down marker, and that'll eat some more clock.
Yeah, we said, coming into this second half, we said there might be some fatigue on the West Salem side. You see some hands on some knees, some hands on some hips. It's possible that fatigue could be here, but this is the first time playing all season. Obviously they just went back to full practice yesterday, so this is a team that might be showing some fatigue, and that might be advantageous to Onalaska on this drive.
Both teams with all 3 timeouts. That might come into a factor as well as we get towards the later stages of the fourth quarter. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Here's the pitch play to Savarin. Savarin will get met at the line of scrimmage. Reaches the football out for maybe 1 on the play, or a half yard. Met on the play by number 9, Adam Gorski, as well as number 41, C.J. McConkey. So 2nd down and 9 at the 44-yard line of Onalaska. 2:55 to go. 1 receiver out to the left side and 2 to the right. Odom and Peterson line up to the right, and Weber out on the left side alone. Sam Pica will go in motion to the right side. Michael Savarin in the backfield. In the pistol behind Aiden Larson. They hand it to Savarin along the right edge. Nice blocking by Pica to Springham that time. And Michael Sabrin picks up another first down inside the 50, down all the way to the 46-yard line of West Salem. And the clock will continue to run.
Yeah, it sounded like West Salem was screaming out right side from the sideline, so like they were going to run to that side. But then Onalaska, I think, switched the play, ended up running to their right side, West Salem's left, and it still went for a big gain. And Onalaska doing a nice job of running the football and taking time off the clock.
H-back Sam Pica leading the way for the Hilltoppers on that play. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Handoff to Romero. Romero pulls his way forward for another 5. Out to the 41-yard line. Pick up of 4 then, so 2nd down and 6. They got to get to the 36-yard line.
Eventually here, you need to start, think about taking all 3 of your timeouts if you're the Panthers.
It's getting close.
Because it'll be 2nd down and 5 here. And I think if they don't get much on this play, that maybe you would take a timeout.
2 receivers out to the left side, 1 to the right. Pistol formation, once again, Romero behind Larson. And so, Gorski showing blitz. He's had a big game. Some big-time pressure on Larson here in this game. Some big-time sacks. And now here's the handoff to Romero. He's breaking tackles left and right. Gets inside the 35-yard line down to the 34. And that's another first down for the Hilltoppers. And this is exactly where you need Albert Romero, is to just bowl over defenders and kind of just grind this game out and get out of here with a 2-point win if the score holds with 1:36 to go in the contest. And still no timeouts being called by West Salem. They might be just looking for a turnover here.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision not to call in that sequence timeouts, but obviously I think now they'll start to call their timeouts and get it, maybe if they were to get a stop with 20 seconds left.
1:20 to go. 2 receivers out to each side. 1 to the right, 1 to the left. Here's the play action fake, a rollout for Larson. Larson's going to dive ahead for what he can. Not a whole lot on the play. And now we've got whistles, and finally a timeout has been called by West Salem. So it's a 1-yard gain for Aiden Larson. And the 2 timeouts are remaining with 1:05 to go in the game. We're going to take a 30-second break. We're back for the last 65 seconds after this. You're listening to the high school football game of the week right here on WKTY. So, Hunter, if you're West Salem here, you take a look at, obviously the time of possession starting to really turn in favor of the Hilltoppers here this evening. And you just can't say enough about really the fight that the Panthers have had here tonight, getting that Hail Mary. And you just think about some of the mental things that kind of bit them with no practice, with no really preparation to go for these real games, the snaps over the quarterback's head and the holder's head for the field goal, the delay of games. They're right in this game, and they've really played some really inspiring football for not having any contest so far.
Yeah, that extra point where it went over their head. They get that extra point. Anna probably doesn't go for 2. We're probably at a tie ball game. So just those little things for West Salem.
Here's the handoff to Romero. Nothing doing. Nice tackle. Hanging on for dear life that time was Luke Knoll. And he forces another timeout here for West Salem. It's going to be 3rd down and 9, so no gain on the 2nd down and 9. And
I'll be excited to see what West Salem can do next week as well, as we have them against the Toma Timberwolves, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So, it'll be interesting because they'll have a week under their belt, another full week of practice, and this team is going to be competitive this year. There's no doubt about that. They have shown some impressive things tonight. LaFleur is a good quarterback and kind of the leader of that offense, and their defense has been very good against, Onalaska's got some athletes on that offensive side, so Absolutely. It's been really impressive for the West Salem defense. So they're going to be fun to watch this year.
You take a look at what Onalaska has done. It's 2 big plays. You take a look at the 22-yard touchdown pass to Landon Peterson, and obviously the 64-yard touchdown run by Albert Romero when he broke through about 3 defenders' tackles, and then he showed the speed as well once he was in the open field to just take it the rest of the way. But outside of that, they've really held this really explosive Onalaska offense in check. Very good performance once again by West Salem, and good performance by Onalaska doing what they've got to do. And here's the the read option by Larson, and he's not going anywhere, still trying to fight. The ball comes out well after the whistle, and the final timeout called by West Salem, and that couldn't have gone any better, Hunter, as they basically hold him to 0 yards. 3 straight timeouts, 3 straight no-yard gains defensively allowed by the West Salem defense, and now you bring out the punting unit. You got 55 seconds to go. It's going to be obviously a challenge, but you give yourself a chance.
Yeah, we're talking about next week's game. We got a game here with 55 seconds left, and a big play or two. We've seen West Salem do the improbable with that kind of Hail Mary after a big loss. So we'll see what happens.
Here is the punt by Sam Pika. It's going to be a lofting kick, end over end. It's going to take a beautiful sideways hop. Just went straight sideways out of bounds. And so West Salem, to get the victory, at least is going to need about 60 or so yards to get into field goal range. It's going to be 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line with 48.4 seconds to go. And no timeouts for them in their back pocket. But you kind of knew what you signed up for when you stopped them on 3 straight possessions. You kind of knew if you're Coach Yen, this is going to be it. We've got no timeouts. We're going to need a couple of big plays. Obviously, clock is going to stop after each first down if they can get a few.
Yeah, a lot of
see what happens here.
A lot of LaFleur coming on this drive.
3 receivers out to the right side, 1 to the left. 3 timeouts for Onalaska as well. If it comes down to it, they can ice the kicker 3 times if they want. Here's LaFleur straight back in the pocket, going deep over the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. I don't know if he closed his eyes, but he kind of expected a hit and kind of just launched it up there. 2nd down and 10. And it's incomplete pass, but obviously no harm, no foul there. Just an incompletion stops the clock.
Yeah, only 4 seconds off the clock there, and Onalaska with some big pressure there, right up the middle and right in his face, and that's what Onalaska's been able to do more so in the second half, is just kind of get some pressure. And as we start to get a little bit of the shaky scenario here with the Onalaska crowd stomping their feet.
2nd down and 10. LaFleur rolls out to the right side, and now it's going to be a lofting pass. Almost caught after it was almost intercepted just over the head of Cody Skifton of Onalaska. And trying to come up with a catch, I believe, looks like Barney was over there.
I think it might have been Niemeyer.
Niemeyer, okay.
Yeah, but he slipped, and if he doesn't slip, that might be a perfect throw, because he slipped and kind of had to try to catch it with the back, or with the kind of the back of his body. Had he would have stayed up, I think that might have been perfect by LaFleur, but now a 3rd down.
Looked like Niemeyer was trying to come back to the football there, so it would have been right in his hands had he not slipped on it. 3rd down and 10, 38.3 seconds to go. Couple of shots left here for the Panthers to get a big-time win over their arch-rival Onalaska. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers to each side. LaFleur has some time, goes deep down the right sideline. Incomplete. Looks like a miscommunication with Gorski there. He's saying that he was bumped, maybe looking for a flag, but it's going to be one final play here on 4th and 10 at the West Salem 11-yard line. 34 seconds to go. Hunter, make sure you hold on to the camera for this next play.
Exactly. The Onalaska fans, one of their traditions is to stomp their feet on big downs, which means the stands shake, and I'm in the stands, and so the camera starts to shake. So if that's what you see on the video feed, just know that's what it is. And
yeah, it's 2020, but there's no earthquakes taking place in Onalaska, Wisconsin. Just don't want to scare the viewers there. 4th down and 10 at the 11, 34 seconds to go. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Receivers in motion. Here's the pass. It's going to be intercepted on the play. A little bit of a miscommunication as they went to number 5, Andy Johnson. Pass was overthrown, intercepted by Michael Savarin, and that will do it for this one tonight. A fantastic game to cover here this evening. Some great defense, some great plays on both sides of the football. But Onalaska, after their tough loss against Edgar last week, is going to get a win here against West Salem, and they will move to 2-1 on the season with 28.6 seconds to go. Still got to kneel it or run it a couple of times, but that's going to be it here for the Hilltoppers. Here is the kneel down by Larson, and that should be all she wrote. Don't think the play clock's going to be an issue. We do have a couple of handshakes by the offensive and defensive linemen. And obviously the Hilltoppers made some adjustments in that second half, had a couple of big plays, and did what they needed to do to get the job done. A lot of pressure in the middle, up front on LaFleur on that last possession to make it difficult on him. And that's it. The final score in this one, the Onalaska Hilltoppers 15, the West Salem Panthers 13. Great contest here tonight in week number 3. We'll be back in 2 minutes to wrap things up from Onalaska right after this. You're listening to the High School Football Game of the Week on WKTY.
If it's happening in Wisconsin sports, you'll hear about it on the Wisco Sports Show.
The NFC North has always been characterized by a number of really strong defenses and elite players, especially on that side of the ball. We know that especially in 2 of our stadiums, it can get really cold in the wintertime. And there's a premium on ball security and dominating line of scrimmage.
I want to continue to talk about the importance of NFC North games and divisional record, but really quickly first, small side note. I wish I would have contemplated this. Like, what does it mean to be an NFC North guy? Right? We're NFC North people. We're NFC North fans, right? We like cold weather, smash mouth football. What does it mean to be an NFC North guy, right? We value smash mouth defense. We control the line of scrimmage. We run the football, and by God, we don't turn it over. Because when it's 6 degrees, 1 turnover, that's all it takes.
Talking Wisconsin sports with Grant Bills. It's the Wisco Sports Show. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on WKTY.
Back here at Onalaska High School. Final score in this one, 15-13. Hilltoppers with the victory over the West Salem Panthers. And Hunter, your final thoughts as we wrap up shop here on week number 3.
Well, it was a great game again. We saw a great one last week. We saw a great one this week, and I think that's going to be kind of the theme of the season. A lot of these teams are going to be more evenly matched maybe this year because of the wonky practice schedules and whatnot. So it's been really, really fun to see football back. It was a beautiful night. West Salem with a fantastic showing in their first game. They have a lot to be proud of, to be competitive with a team that's on their 3rd week of games already, having completed 2, and they're just coming out and starting their season in West Salem. That was a fantastic game tonight. And Onalaska, they made plays when they needed to. They didn't do so last week. They did so this week. That's what they did. West Salem, on the other hand, they have some things to clean up. Obviously, the snaps, some of the penalties, but those little things can be cleaned up, and they're going to be competitive this season.
I want to thank once again the Sportscaster Club sponsors, the Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning Sportscaster Club, Firefighters Credit Union, Fossum Funeral Home, Kratt Lumber, Mr. Electric, Schumacher Kish Funeral Home, Wafer, Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning, Tostert and Temp, Tiller Furniture, 5-Star Telecom, Ace of Lacrosse, and Dark Fox Enterprises. I want to thank all of our listeners and thank all of you, the sponsors, obviously, for making these broadcasts possible. Final score, once again, Onalaska goes 2-1. West Salem falls to 0-1. 15-13, the Hilltoppers get the win. For Hunter Baumgardt and for Grant Bills back in the studio, I'm Drew Kelly saying so long from Onalaska. We'll talk to you next week on the High School Football Game of the Week. Good night.
Midwest Family Entertainment.
You're getting married and there are so many things to do, but one thing that I can help you with is the entertainment. I'm Brittany Stiles, the manager of Midwest Family Entertainment.